This is where the fun begins.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour, Friday night. It is great to be here. Welcome to the show. I'm very, very happy to end my crazy long work week here in the Cantina with the one and only Cantinians here in the chat, here in the audience, hanging out with me tonight. It is great to be here, you guys. Thank you for spending your valuable time, wasting time with me. That's the best way to do it. What is up, you guys? I hope you're doing well. I hope that you've had a great week. I hope that you are excited about brand new reveals today from Hasbro, brand new reveals from Hot Toys, and Revenge of the Sith turning 20. Crazy times. But it is great to be here. We have a great show for you this evening. We got a panel waiting backstage to come on in and hang out with us and talk some Star Wars, talk all of these topics. So just to kind of go over what we're discussing, other than what I mentioned, of course, we're going to catch up on the news. We're going to talk about Revenge of the Sith. We're going to talk about the toy line from 2005, that amazing, one of my top favorite toy lines of all time, Hasbro Star Wars toy lines especially. And yeah, just a lot of nostalgia. We got new acquisitions at the end, anything brand new we've been adding to our collections. Well, I got a couple stacks. I knew I was doing this show, so I got a couple stacks of things that came in to show you guys. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and talk a little bit here about a little housekeeping. So as you guys know, things are very expensive. It doesn't matter where you're shopping at right now. Everything is really, really, really pricey. Any little bit of money we can save, we will take it. And that's exactly the same case when it comes to our Star Wars collectibles or anything else that you're buying that you can pick up from entertainmentart.com. As long as it's in stock, not counting pre-orders, as long as it's in stock, you can use promo code Victoria, get yourself 10% off your in-stock purchase. Again, every little bit helps right now. Like everything is just going up and up and up and up and up and up. Use this promo code, do yourself a favor, save 10% off. And you will be happy that you did. Next thing, my friends, I just want to mention next week's show. Cantina Social Hour will be on Wednesday next week. All right, Wednesday next week. Normal time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to be talking to Tyler, also known as SW Collector 375 from the SWTVC Instagram group. Great group. They put on the whole March Madness thing every single year. And we've been wanting to get Tyler on for a while. And finally, the stars aligned. And Tyler will be with us for SWTVC talk. And we'll be catching up on the latest TVC news. We'll be talking some Hot Toys. We'll be talking Tales of the Underworld, which drops this Sunday, May the 4th. And then we'll also be talking a range of leaks and reveals from Mattel Jurassic World, which is another 3 3/4 inch line that I'm very passionate about, and a lot of you guys are as well. So that'll be next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. We will not be doing a Friday show. It will be on Wednesday instead. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. Now, other than that, Tonight's topics, Hasbro Pulse fan stream. We're going to talk about what was revealed today from Hasbro. We're going to talk about Hot Toys reveals because there has been some stuff over the last week. Some very exciting stuff, actually. We're going to get into Revenge of the Sith, going back to 2005. Revenge of the 20th. We're going to talk about the Hasbro toy line. We'll touch on Andor. Andor in its second week of season 2. Brand new 3 episodes that came out on Tuesday. And then, of course, we'll end with brand new acquisitions, things that you've added to your collections, things that we've added to our collections. Yeah, I am here for it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you for being here. But let's go to the chat and see who's with us thus far this evening. Let's see which of our Cantinians are here. Dodgson, he says, well, the bar is open for early birds interested in a refreshing beverage. Personally, while it may be off topic for today's topic, the social hour, I cannot wait for new acquisitions. We know that's your favorite segment, Dodgson, and also Dodgson has been officially hired. He is tending the soda fountain here in the cantina. We got our moderator, Adam. Hello, Adam. It's good to see you as always. Thank you for moderating and doing what you do here for us. We really appreciate it. You are the best. Let's see. We've got William. Hey, William. How's it going? Good evening, and may the 4th be with us all. We're real happy with today's reveals. I was kind of hoping for a HasLab announcement, STCC maybe. Maybe. I'll be there. I hope that you're there too, William. It would be good to see you. July through November is with us. Hello. Jason, good to see you. We got Britt in the house. Hello, Britt. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well as well. We missed you last week. We got Pico B1. Hello, Chad. How are you doing? Who else? Scroll. We got David Matthews. Hello, David. Thank you for coming in. We got Allison with us. Happy Friday. Thank you. We got Lorena. Hello, Lorena. Good to see you as always. We got our friend Mary with us. Hello, Mary. Thank you. We got Angela with us. Hello, Angela. Thank you for hanging out with us. I know you're waiting to see one of our guests here pretty shortly. Let's see who else. We have Bob is with us. Hello, Bob. Good to see you as always, my friend. How's it going? Miles is with us once again. Hello, Miles. How are you doing? You fell asleep. That's okay. We can't blame you, Britt. I know I make people snooze sometimes. I accept it. I'm good. It's all right. Cool. All right, guys. I say let's get this show on the road. We're going to go ahead and welcome in tonight's panel. Waiting backstage in the green room. Let's go ahead and let's go do that.
Hello there.
All right. Joining us for the very first time, Cantina Social Hour tonight. We got Press X to continue. How's it going, sir?
Oh my goodness. So much Star Wars goodness. It's a great time to be alive as a Star Wars fan. I want all the Grogu. Give me all the Grogu. Give me all the Wookiees. Let's do this. 20 years of Revenge of the Sith. Where did the time go? But that's a film that only got better with age, and I cannot wait to talk about it. Thank you so much for having me on. This is always exciting. I'm always excited to talk about the plastic, to talk about the Star Wars, the Wookiees, the lightsabers, all of it. So, no, this is great. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I want to talk to you for just a moment before we bring other people, our other guests in. So anytime I ask someone brand new, I just like to kind of touch on, what it is that keeps them collecting. Because, we all start out with this passion for, like you're saying, plastic, as kids, and we just continue to do it as adults. What is it that has gripped you by this hobby, and why do you continue to do it?
I mean, the thing that I like about collecting, and as I've gotten older, my collecting habits have changed. But I remember, going to see like the original Jurassic Park, and then immediately going to Kmart to get the action figures and get the soundtrack. It's the idea, or, back in the day in the 90s, the Power of the Force, those really buff figures that I still remember to this day. Just soaking up every piece of media and the books and the comics and the video games. It's trying to get really as close to the thing that you love as possible, to take home a piece of that magic that you felt. And whether it was 3 3/4 inch and your imagination, did the rest. But then, perhaps you skip ahead a little bit and, I got into Star Wars, the Black Series, and all of a sudden I'm like, it looks just like it stepped off the screen. And before I knew it, I had dewbacks, I had vehicles, they were massive. And then I fell into the 1/6 scale pit, as they say. It's scum and villainy all behind me here. But then it's just, again, the idea that it looked like it just stepped off the screen. And every time I look at any of these things or anything in my collection or any of the soundtracks that I own or the films that I own, I'm immediately transported back to a scene or, to one of my, favorite films. Any one of these figures I can look at and I can think of a Star Wars, a phrase, a scene, any of it. And it just, it's a bit of joy. We're collecting bits of joy. Absolutely. And if it stops making you happy, then you stop collecting. But right now, as you can see, the collection it's been expanding. So that's for me personally. Yeah, that's for me personally. Well, I'm collecting bits of joy. It makes me happy. It brings a smile to my face. And that's what I'm here for.
That's what it's all about. Awesome. And I have some folks pressing XXX. Keep pressing
Press
X,
harder.
you guys.
Yes.
Use the force.
You got to keep at it.
You got to keep at it. So Chris, you're also on YouTube, is that correct?
I am on YouTube. Well, I'm mainly on other streams. So you'll catch me on Wednesdays. So there's Say What on Wednesdays, which is a 1/6 scale channel. Another 1/6 scale channel that I'm on is Best of the Best, which is on Thursdays. And then also on Thursdays, there's a Star Wars show that I'm on where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars. Right now, we're talking about Andor Season 2. Yes. And that is Uncivilized Scoundrels. And then on Sundays, you'll find me on another 1/6 scale show, Collectors Lounge International. So yeah, I'm out and about on the 1/6 scale channels, but every now and then I bop in on some film channels and just, any place that I can hang out with good people, good conversation, and geek out with the best of them. So yeah, that's where you'll find me out on the internet.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And I just figured out what it does. I'm going to press X, you guys. Check it out. This is what happens.
Yes, I bet you have.
Makanki.
In case anyone's wondering. All right.
Oh, that was great.
All right. Returning to the cantina. For the first time in a while, I believe, we've got Joe, Return of the Joe Die with us. Joe, how's it going?
Hey, Victoria. Well, how are you doing?
Doing well. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you and Press X continue. Great to meet you. And I'm just thrilled to be here with all these amazing guests and everybody in the chat. And what a better way to kick off May the 4th weekend than this, like right here. It's so awesome. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to talking ROTS with you and in the panel. And then returning as well to the cantina, we got Nilda from Appetite for the Collectibles. Nilda, how's it going?
Hi, Mark. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I know I haven't been on in a while, but yeah, when you asked me, I was like, yes, we get to talk about Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith. And yeah, like how both of the guys said, it's a great way of kicking off for May the 4th.
Totally. It's that weekend. It's like my coworkers got the hint that this is May 4th weekend.
Yeah, like I went to work today in like my Star Wars scrubs. So my boss looked at me and he goes, "Oh," he's like, "You're gonna have all the waiting rooms with Star Wars playing." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." I had all the patient rooms were playing different episodes in the rooms. So like one patient came up to me and they were like, "Oh, so we hear that you're the Star Wars girl." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Dr. Bronson allowed you to put all different Star Wars films in each room." And I said he had no choice.
Nice. So you have a very flexible boss. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we also had our friend Emma Jade returning as well. She is having some tech issues due to storms that are going on in her region. So we sent her positive vibes. If she's able to make it on, then awesome. And if not, we totally understand. We'll get her on again in the future for sure. But yeah, let's see. I have a few other names popping in here. It looks like Charlie the Unicorn's with us. Hey, Charlie. Good to see you as always. Nice. And yeah,
Charlie the Unicorn, they're after our money. They're
Yes.
after it. They're gonna take it all. They're gonna take it all.
I feel like we're gonna get hit with a couple more surprises.
Oh God, please no.
I don't know. I feel it in my gut, like from waking up this morning and seeing the 2 reveals, and then I don't know. I think we're gonna get hit with one massive unicorn.
Ooh, it's my budget is starting to sound like Saw Gerrera these days. When it's like I won't spend any more money, and then I pre-order something, and my budget's like lies, deceptions, every day more lies. Then my bank account is like, have you come here to kill me? There's not much of me left.
I'm never gonna be able to see Saul's character the same ever again. Lies, deception.
it's so good. And here's our friend Emma. She is tuning in from Facebook. Thank you, Emma, for being here. And we'll definitely get you on in the future. We got Vicente with us. So many hot toys needed. I mean, it's Friday night. It's the beginning of the weekend. I wouldn't be shocked either if a couple more things drop before the 4th, and maybe even on the 4th. So brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
I mean, between what Hot Toys did and what Sideshow did.
Oh my God.
mean, you see what Sideshow did? It's like, hey, you like aliens? Well, check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, they are killing me with those aliens. I mean, they know I love aliens too, and they're doing it on purpose. They're like, Victoria, we're gonna take her for all she's worth. She's gonna buy everything, and then everybody's gonna hate her. Her family's gonna hate her. They're gonna disown her. And this and that. But it's all good. All right, so we'll talk about all that stuff. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in. Cantina Social Hour Friday night. Hello there to everybody. All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead and get things started with our very first topic of the evening. Let's start with Hasbro, because here's another company trying to take all our money. So Hasbro, the OGs, by way of them having absorbed Kenner back in the 90s, still doing their thing, so making 3.25-inch Star Wars action figures. So we're going to pull up some official images here through my friends at banthaschool.com, because I always like to poach their images. Because, I mean, I have them. It's just they keep them on one nice place. So that's kind of nice to... So they they did a Hasbro May the 4th fan stream. And the Vintage Collection, the Black Series, there's some stuff to talk about. Some stuff we knew about, some stuff we didn't know about. But let's go ahead and start with this guy right here, because this is one they did announce almost a year ago. This is Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Vintage Collection for the very first time in the history of the Vintage Collection, which, of course, goes back to 2010. Have there been Ben Kenobi figures? Obviously, but not in TBC, and not one that is made to 2025 standards. So it is very, 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 very nice to see this guy. The card looks great, perfectly replicating the 1978 card back, and then that's not even taking into account the figure, who also looks equally remarkable. I mean, the likeness on this guy is just they nailed it. Yeah, so they're finally doing.
Thought our figures look like, like this is what we thought our figures looked like back in the day when we got them. This is what we imagined that they actually look like, but in reality, they did not look this good.
No.
So, wow.
Sure.
This looks incredible. I didn't see this.
Yeah, it does look really good. They're, you think of it through the 1/4-inch scale, it's so small, and like they're finally getting to a point over the last few years where they can really replicate a character's likeness, and that's just really, really cool to see the innovations that they're making in this scale.
Just when I thought I was out of TBC, they pulled me back in.
Yep.
Jesus. That's pretty.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. He's got the soft robes, the soft goods robe. Now, of course, at this scale, Yeah, it looks a little bit baggy. It looks a little bit poofy, but I mean, it's 3 1/4 inch. They've never perfected this quite yet. Maybe one day they will down the road. The skirt is also soft goods, and I think the skirt, on its own looks pretty good. Um, I'd probably display him without it, I guess. Just unless he's dueling Darth Vader, then you probably have to have more than one Obi-Wan. And then you need one for the land speeder. Then you need one for the Cantina. Then you need one for hypothetical HasLab Death Star. So you need a lot of Obi-Wans.
You're right. Anytime you get into like layers, then all of a sudden, things get a little poofy, a little baggy. But that's the case really at Iddy's scale, and it requires a little more, futzing and finessing when you get, at this scale. I mean, yeah, if you're doing 6-inch, then okay, it's a little less, and you're doing 1/6, it's a little less. But I think this still looks really, really good, and a little bit of futzing, and you can get it close to where you need to be, whether it's some double-sided tape or some wire or something to get it to lay right. But yeah, no, I think they're onto something.
No, definitely. No, it's really cool. I'm very excited for Ben Kenobi, especially with the HasLab Cantina coming out. This is one that we really needed. In addition to that, they did announce a multi-pack. So this is a special action figure set that comes with 3 action figures: Snow Trooper Commander, Sand Trooper, and Scout Trooper.
That's the thing I miss about the scale, is the ability to army build easily.
Oh yeah.
That's because you can't just have one stormtrooper. I mean, you could just have one stormtrooper, but really,
No.
2, 3, 4, a squad. Just the more of them you have, the better they look.
I mean, yeah, exactly. With these, you need a bunch of them. It's like you can't just have 1 or 2. Like you would almost you need more.
I want more.
I say like 10.
And I know I shouldn't.
I feel that in my soul.
Yep. One thing that's really cool is that these are not straight like repacks of existing figures, because they recently came out with the Snow Trooper, and it's very, very critically acclaimed. When I say critically, I mean, me and people that buy this stuff. But this is the Snow Trooper Commander, so there's some small differences. The shoulder pads are a little different, the torso, the boots, and then the helmet is a little bit different. So it's not a straight repack of the previous Snow Trooper. Sand Trooper has some differences as well, to make it specific to Sand Troopers, because there are some armor variations between them and the Stormtroopers. They didn't get 100%. They didn't do the helmet. They didn't do the knee pad. The knee pad should be a diamond, but they didn't do that. But hey, maybe one day. And then Scout Trooper now has the new legs, that they've been doing for on more recent vintage collection figures. So not the old ball socket legs, the more posable, user-friendly legs. So that's kind of cool. They look good. I will say they do look good.
I love the Scout Trooper. It's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because they didn't do 100% of a resculpt on that either. With the Scout Trooper, they've been making like incremental tweaks to the existing figure that goes back to 2006. I kind of wish they would do an all new one, but last time it was the helmet. This time it's the hips are different. So little by little, hopefully they'll eventually it'll be a brand new figure. Yeah, it's a neat set. But I think the really, really big one, for me, the really, really big one that made me so excited was it was in the news today. It was so big. Oh, I didn't mean to do balloons.
Hey, it's that big. We got balloons. It's time to celebrate, damn it. It is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Time to celebrate Star Wars. Celebrate.
We're gonna do it all. It was so big. It was in the news. Check it out.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen, Victoria. I thought I was watching like a segment from the movie Anchorman.
Oh my goodness.
I was waiting for I was waiting for like the deep voiced man to narrate it.
Oh my goodness.
This
We're
is it
missing
right
your face on the card.
Oh, yeah, we'll
From
look
your-
at that too. We'll look at that too. Yeah, so you guys, the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Cantina Creature Set. Now, if there's anything that Hasbro can do that can make like totally send me into like the upper echelons of nerdity, if you will. Like it's something like this, like Cantina characters, like weird stuff that's a throwback to something old, but also new at the same time. Like this is it. This is really it. Like right here. This is the kind of thing that I live for. So I was like so over the moon when I saw this.
The boots on that blue snaggletooth. I mean, come on. Come on. Look at those boots. Just look at those boots.
Look at those. I need some boots like that.
I mean, those boots are made for walk. They're made for all kinds of things. Those boots.
All kinds of things.
Those boots are fabulous, is what they are.
Yeah, let's look at those boots. I want to see those boots more closely. Where are the boots here? Let's get a picture here of the boots. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Those are some good boots.
Those are
Not to take away from Hammerhead, because I mean, look there. I mean, you might think initially it's Big Bird, but it's not. You scroll up and you have Hammerhead.
You're giving him side eye.
Yeah.
He is.
Like, hey, you've had
their-
too much to drink. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
They're having like a very deep thought conversation.
Yeah. Or he's just looked at him and said, hey, you can't say that word. That's our word. He's,
It's really cool.
The memes for this picture is going to be funny on the internet.
This picture is, oh my God, this is great. This is so great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a blast. Like these. So I mean, what they did is they took the existing TVC figures, and then they made them look like the Kenner figures, which is really neat. Even the Hammerhead, that's how the vintage one was with the side eye. I love that they brought that back. The clothing on it, and then just like the playset itself, like calling back to the Cantina Creature set, a Cantina Adventure set, like. That's just such a cool like callback. Even the diorama like in here, it looks like the old one, like the vibrant colors, like very 1970s looking. Like I love it.
And we got our Hammerhead on the standard size card back. So
Don't do that to me, Joe.
yeah, it happened though. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah. So yeah. So okay. So here's Hammerhead, and they did pose in looking to the side, just like the vintage Kenner figure. But yeah. So the mainline one with the regular realistic film looking clothes, like that one is they put it on deluxe card, which a lot of people are not happy about, myself included. Very, very not happy about that. But they got the message. And so here it is on a standard size card. I still hope they go back and do the other one on the standard card too. Even just like this with the blaster, like that'd be perfect. Doesn't need to have all the other stuff. But this is one opportunity at least. And all of these look great. All of these utilize the Kenner designs on the cards, like Walrus Man. It's very colorful. The image is a little creepy, but that's the way it was. Snaggletooth is an interesting one too, because they on the original card he was wearing red, but they made it blue to kind of like harken back to the whole blue Snaggletooth lore. If anyone doesn't know, blue Snaggletooth being like a super rare Kenner figure, and they did it once back in 2004, I think 4 or 5. But it was part of like a multi-pack like this again, I guess, in a way. But it's nice to see it again because we needed a new updated blue Snaggletooth. He's not in the movie, but I mean, look at that. Look at his face. Like, how can you not love this guy? And then Greedo, of course, is in the set too. We got Greedo in here with the Kenner style card. And this is the brand new Greedo sculpt that is, we're probably going to get it first in the set. before we get in the HasLab. So it's kind of, it's notable that this is the brand new sculpt that they created as part of the HasLab stretch goals last year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And from a business standpoint too, this set overall is such a smart idea on their end because they're doing such a theme of the return to Tatooine this year. So having this playset enables people that didn't back the HasLab a chance to also display these figures with a playset, So I think it's just so brilliant on Hasbro's end doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I love how much of a deep cut this is. I mean, this is just, I kind of want just the blue snaggletooth just on its own, because you just grow up hearing about, blue snaggletooth, just blue snaggletooth and those kick-ass boots, and now all of a sudden it's just like, it's better than it's ever looked, which, hey, I'm here for it.
I love how they even posed them in these pictures like they're just walking out of a bar, because that's like exactly what they're doing. Kind of stumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look great. They look really great. I'm excited. Very, very excited. I need 3 of these sets, I think, at least.
I was going to ask, do you open, how many sets do you buy usually?
Yeah, so generally speaking, I'm not, unless it's the vintage collection, I don't normally buy things to keep packaged.
Okay.
There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, like TVC is the one thing I will buy, one to open, one to keep carded, just so that I can have because they had it brilliant back in the day where you had the portrait of the character and then the figure alongside it, so you could see what you're getting. Now, granted, back then they kind of needed that because the toys looked the way that they looked in the 70s, but it's still a great callback to have when you get to see like the actual figure and then the character image next to it. So I mean, it's just, there's no other Hasbro toy line like the vintage collection, so it's the one line I will do that with. But something like this, because I just love Cantina Alien so much, I probably will buy 3, just to have it in a backup, just for who knows why. But that's what I do. That's what we do. Looks like we got our friend Ken with us. Hey Ken, good to see you. Ken is listening in the aisle at Target. Spot for a New Hope retro set, but they never got them in. With the pre-orders being pushed, I wonder if something is going on. Yeah. I think those are all just delayed. Is what's going on with that. I think they're just delayed. Hey, HoloNet, how's it going? Yeah, but these are. But yeah, I appreciate Ken reporting on location. We love that. Scott 9 is with us too. How they position Hammerhead in his packaging. Yeah, it's marvelous. We got our pal Mike Case with us. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being with us tonight. Awesome. Oh, and Bob's here too. Hey, Bob. How you doing? Cool. All right. So other than TVC, there were some other reveals. There were some Black Series. Oh, I missed one. Silly me. I missed the Stormtrooper. There is a TVC Stormtrooper as well. Because Stormtrooper. That's why.
I love that card back.
It's a nice card.
Yeah.
It's the same figure from before, but this is just an alternate card back. So just to get him back to retail, it's nice that they're mixing it up. Same vintage collection VC number, but yeah, it is a really nice card. I love it.
Yeah. I definitely will pick one of those up.
Yeah, it's super good. Super good. And same great figure that we've had since the beginning, when they introduced the sculpt a few years back. And then since we're talking about Revenge of the Sith tonight, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that they are doing Black Series on Revenge of the Sith cards. Now, we already have some of them released, but they announced a few more. Ayla Secura, played by Amy Allen, who, Nilda, you've had Amy Allen on your show before.
Yeah. I sent her, me and Amy are actually like friends now. So I text her this picture and she started laughing and she's like, yeah, she's like, I've known for a while. She was like, I couldn't wait for it to be announced.
That's cool. She's so cool. I remember meeting her in 2007 when I was a baby.
She's so nice. She's so laid back for anybody who ever gets to meet her. She will talk to you as if you are her best friend. Super, super laid back.
That's really cool. And I'm glad this is one that they're doing, because it's like a stupendous Black Series figure. It's just really nice to see it back. Now she's got the little swooshy effect thing, which is great. But I mean, look at that. It looks great. It's awesome. Very, very nice. And then there was another, the Magna Guard. We saw a leak of this. I think it was when we had Mike on. Mike Case was on. We talked about this, the leaked image, but now it's officially announced. It's the same Magna Guard figure they released a few years back, but now it's got the blue color palette, which is kind of cool. Mix it up a little bit. I like this picture. He's like crawling around creepily with his electro staff.
I was gonna say, does it like pop apart in any way, shape, or form?
Let's see.
The shoulder pieces fall off, but I don't think that's on purpose. At least
Yeah,
the clone did.
Oh.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's two pieces. Like if you look in the package, it's got like one piece on each side of the staff. So I think it does come apart. And then I know the electrocution pieces, or electricity rather, electrocution piece. I don't even know what that means. Electricity definitely comes off. They also announced for Black Series this guy, which another Revenge of the Sith tie-in, not on the Revenge of the Sith packaging, but this is Clone Lieutenant Galley. And he's got a removable helmet. And he is one of the 327th Star Corps, so one of Aayla Secura's clones. And he does look quite nice. Here's his box, standard Black Series box. And then, yeah, the helmet on. It's a nice looking figure. And then, who else? Did I miss anything? I think that, oh no. They're doing the Sand Trooper again. And again, I got to give them props because they mentioned in the stream that they did make some tweaks to make the armor specific to the Sand Troopers in A New Hope. But like the TVC figure, I don't think they did anything to the helmet. The helmet needed a little bit of work to be Sand Trooper specific. It doesn't look like they did anything. They didn't mention anything, at least. So there's that. And then also a 2-pack timed for Rogue One. So this is the Scarif Stormtrooper or Shore Trooper and the Death Trooper. So more army builders if you're army building these guys. I got my fill of them when they first came out a while back, but yeah, so those are cool. And then the last thing they announced today was the Ezra Bridger lightsaber, Force Effects lightsaber. And this one, it's when he redoes it in Ahsoka, and he resembles it like Kanan Jarrus's. So pretty neat if you're doing the lightsabers, and it's just yet another one to add to the collection. And I think that covers all the Hasbro stuff from today.
I was sad they didn't actually show any like new helmets. I'm a helmet collector, and so normally I buy like EFX, but I think it was this week when they released the Death Trooper helmet, which I've been waiting a hot minute for. So I definitely pre-ordered that like as soon as it went up because I'm like, yes, finally, a Death Trooper helmet.
I screamed during the live stream when they announced it. I was like, yeah, because it's one of my favorites. And I was waiting for, and I was waiting, and I like messaged my best friend, and I was like, we're buying 2 of them.
Now, if they do something unique, like a TIE Fighter pilot helmet, then yes, I will pay the extra money because I know that's going to be a big boy, and it's going to have the chest box and all that stuff as well. So I'm hoping they go that far with it. Oh, that would be great to have.
I'm just hoping with that helmet that the scope does light green or some closeness to it, like how you see it in the movie.
I think it does. I mean, I know the bottom pieces light up, but the scope does light up. I just don't remember the color that. I hope it gets screen accurate, but then if it was screen accurate, it would probably have to be too small for your head because they were a little narrow. They are known for being a little too narrow for an actual human head to squeeze into without a bit of modification.
Maybe they had their head shaped in a I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know where it's going with that.
The Empire was too cheap to buy new helmets, so like, look, we're gonna get this on one way or the other. You know, just yes, we'll just shrink your head instead of building larger helmets because Empire.
Or they'll just like remove an ear to just like be able to slide.
Ooh, we're getting dark, but I would not put it past them. I really,
Guys,
really wouldn't. It's like
the
you gotta lose
Empire
those
is dark.
ears. I'm sorry, you really gotta lose those ears. It's we got an aesthetic, we got a style.
We don't even technically know if they're human. I mean, they could be. I can't think of it. The alien species that Darth Plagueis is. They could be all them. Maybe they're all the Death Troopers.
Yeah, a moon.
The banking clan will sign your treaty.
He was so proud of that too, wasn't he? He's like, yeah.
Right.
These other people are like waffling. Oh, we'll do it. The techno union is the disposal count. I love that guy. What was it? Watt Tambor.
Why does he adjust his stuff like right then and there when he finally has something to say?
He's like, I don't want to be on record saying this, so yeah, we'll yeah, we'll do it. Sure.
Yeah, it's like he was going to drop a remix. I think's what it was because he's part of the techno union. They're making music. Well, they do. I guess let's get to move on to 6 scale. Okay, so we're gonna go over to Sideshow on Instagram and take a look at the little tease that we got today. We were talking about earlier, Scum and Villainy. So we've previously gotten the Cantina characters that they put up for pre-order last year. They spaced them out. It was over the span of like 3 or 4 months that they put them all up, but I did pre-order those because, like I said earlier, I'm a Cantina nut. So, I mean, there was no way I was going to miss those. These, I mean, I love Jabba's Palace, and I love what these are. I mean, they're 6 scale, like, skip cards. Like, that's incredible. But I don't feel like I need to get these. Maybe that's blasphemous, but I mean, it's not so much that I don't need to get them. I kind of feel like I do need to get them, but I'm not going to get them because there's already so many things, like, right now. So, self-control.
Self-control. What is the self-control you speak of?
Self-control is a point of view.
Is it terrible that I just only want Bib Fortuna?
No.
I really only want Bib Fortuna out of this.
Yeah.
If I had all the monies, I would buy every single alien that they release. Because what is Star Wars without its droids, without its aliens? Otherwise, you just got a bunch of people wearing brown clothes. That's Star Wars. You need your aliens, and Sideshow, God bless them, is giving us the aliens. It's just that sadly for the original trilogy, for the most part, they were relegated to background characters. With the exception of Chewbacca and Yoda, it's like, yeah, they're kind of background characters. They're in the background. They don't really. Every now and then they McClunky, but otherwise. It was, of course, Return of the Jedi when they really got to shine in the character designs and things like that. But in the first 2 films, it was there, just kind of in the, you had your Ugnaught here and there. Yeah. But I do love that Sideshow is taking a gamble on these. I wish they were priced a little better. I really think it was something maybe $240 to $250.
Yeah.
They came out of the gate, I think, at $280 with their first wave. Their Ponda Baba and their Greedo and whatnot. I'm like, okay, that's a bit bold, but it still beats what it was going for on the aftermarket, that Greedo. So I'm just holding out hope for some bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be cool. That's
really what I'm saving my money for. I'll get a Bib Fortuna, but the others, I'll wait. But those bounty hunters, if they give us, Forlom and Zuckuss and Bosk, IG-88, then those I will buy all of at once.
Yeah. I can kind of see Hot Toys doing a Bosk. I don't know about the others, but I can kind of see that maybe at some point getting around to Bosk. But who knows? I really like Squid Head. I think Squid Head's my favorite one of these. But yeah, I mean, Bib Fortuna would be kind of like if you could only get one, like I feel like that's kind of the default, like that's the one you have to get. But I don't know. I like Squid Head, but I'm probably not gonna. Like I said, I'm gonna try to have self control. I'm not gonna. I already went crazy on the Cantina ones, and there's all these other 6 scale things that I have on pre-order. So I need to kind of rein it in a little bit with these guys. So sorry, Jabba's Palace goons. I'll let you go to some other someone else's loving collection.
I've got the Sideshow 1/6 scale Jabba, the first one they put out, and of course I have the Salacious Crumb that came with the C-3PO. So yeah, having Bib Fortuna is. I wish we can get an Ula and maybe a Rancor Keeper, something like that, But
Yeah.
you know what I really want? Give me 2 Gamorrean guards, and I would die a happy man.
Nice.
Yeah, Gamorrean guards would be pretty cool. They probably cost $500, I'd imagine, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
Gamorrean guards and the furry diapers that they wear. Let's do it.
That'd be worth it.
I want an Ula so bad.
Yeah.
Love Femi Taylor. She's such a sweetheart. I would love to have a figure of hers.
That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the Sideshow figures. We also got some Hot Toys to look at as well. These are reveals from the past week or so. So we're going to start off here on sideshow.com, where we're going to find Darth Nihilus. Pre-ordering in at $265. This was kind of surprisingly dropped. Yeah, I mean, did you guys imagine that this is one they were going to get around to at some point, especially after they did Darth Revan?
I had a feeling that they were going to do a Nihilus because of the Darth Revan. So I felt like they were going to start kind of slowly revealing some Sith Lords. So I was very happy with this drop, and I actually pre-ordered it already.
Yeah, same.
Very cool.
And it makes you wonder now if we're going to get Malik.
Oh, I'll freak out if we get Malik.
I think Malik is I think that's I wouldn't say it's definitely going to happen, but after we did Revan, then it was like, okay, Nihilus, let's see it. Where's Nihilus? But then they hit us with Malgus, and that beast that is Malgus, and it's like, okay, so if you're willing to do Revan and Starkiller, although it's like Empire Strikes Back, Hoth Starkiller, but still, if you're willing to do Sith Stalker, Starkiller, Revan, and Malgus, then the floodgates are open. It's like,
yeah,
Nihilus is, it's a no-brainer. Now, Scion, something like that, too deep of a cut? I don't know. You tell me.
It'll be interesting.
I think they can do it. I would love to see it.
yeah. I guess they figured, you know what? We're never going to give them a show, so we're just going to give them the figures.
Tales of the Old Republic coming 2026.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Yes, I would love for them to, or just do films that are set in the Old Republic. Just go with a couple thousand years in the past.
The amount of films that they can make with just that line. You can do separate films for each character. You can do like one massive film. It's endless, but they choose not to.
Of course, you'd have people like me comparing it to the cutscenes of these games that you could just watch stitched together.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it like, this is some of the most amazing Star Wars I've ever seen. It's just the cutscenes from KOTOR, and it's like, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible stuff. So if the movies could do that, then we'd be onto something.
Yeah. And then there's the tease here, of course, for the light side Revan possibly coming down the road. I mean, it looks really cool. Not for me. Not for me. I did get Revan, but it's kind of an odd one for me because I don't really have anywhere to. I mean, I like to create like moments, like in my shelves, right? I like to create like moments, and like for Revan just by himself in isolation he's cool, but as part of a shelf, I can't really do a whole lot with him. So probably not going to get Nihilus, but he's nice to admire. He does look great, and I'm very excited because I know a lot of people did want him, so it is good for them that they're doing him. One that I am getting, totally am getting, and I already did pre-order, in fact.
Yep.
Our pal Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. Very, very timely, of course, with the Revenge of the Sith anniversary.
So conflicted on this.
Do it.
Is it weird that I just want to get him and just cover him up like with the robe and then just sit behind him and go, "The attempt on my life." Like sit there and say that whole entire speech.
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think. No.
No.
You will buy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys need to
Do it.
Unlimited pre-orders. Yes.
Like I said, I was blown
other-
away by the price of this. Like with everything you get, I was
Yeah.
expecting
How much
this
is he?
more. I think $285.
What?
285.
Yep.
Yeah, so
This is
I
the
thought you'd be
all-in
more.
Palpatine.
Yeah,
They're probably putting all this stuff as probably low as possible. They're like, we're getting hit with tariffs. We got to get rid of a lot of merchandise. Let's just sell it as cheap as possible.
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
so good.
Well, hopefully by the time this comes out, that'll be resolved, but I don't know. But either way, I like him. I really like him.
And
I
if
love
I had
this.
it, I would display it with this sculpt because I think
Yes.
this was a character in and of itself. You had Palpatine and you had Sidious.
Mhm.
And you had Palpatine being the slick politician, and you saw more of him in the prequels than you actually saw of, his alter ego, more or less, or the real him, this version. So I'm definitely going to display him in the Chancellor Palpatine looking, but perhaps, with the red lightsaber, like it's treason then. He just wails on some Jedi. But I also have the Darth Sidious from Revenge of the Sith that they announced last year. I have that on pre-order. So now I'm wondering, do I need both?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm in dangerous company here. Thank you.
But I love how me and Victoria with no hesitation were like, yes.
Oh no, I'm surrounded by
No,
enablers.
because you can have Revenge of the Sith Palpatine in his dark robe, and then you can have now with the red robe, but you can have him as just the Chancellor.
True, and having them stand side by side, the two sides of the same man. I'm really hoping that we get. My hope with buying Darth Sidious that they released last year is that they would do an Episode 3 Yoda, because I want them to fight. I want them to have an epic fight out, and of course I'm going to have this character fighting my my Mace Windu that I've got, and then we'll have peace.
Then we shall have peace. I'm predicting that by the end of the weekend we're going to get Yoda. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
They should.
I need a Yoda, and I need like an Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3, and I'd be all good.
Yeah, they need to update that Obi-Wan. They really do. Yeah. If you want the old one, though, I'm letting mine go. So.
Oh really? Yeah. Why?
One cannot say, but yeah, I really like this. I think it looks great. I mean, it's interesting to me though that the normal Palpatine sculpt here looks so much like the last one they did from Clone Wars. I kind of would have preferred something that didn't look so much like that, but I mean, it's fine. So if I have the other one on the shelf and he has a very similar head sculpt to this, and I can just display this new one with the Darth Sidious head and the lightning and all that, I think I'd like that too.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I'm laughing at Adam Kennedy's post. He said, henceforth, you'll be known as Broke AF. I don't know why reading that. I heard it in Palpatine's voice. I just could not stop laughing.
You should be known as
Broke.
AF. Rise.
Rise.
You must choose which figure to purchase. Don't let me sell out. I have the power to complete your collection.
Oh man. I mean, this to me, like, I would love to display him. I would love to display him this way, like just in this pose. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool on the shelf.
I wish
But,
the eyes were a little bit more like brighter
Right?
Sith eyes,
Yeah.
but the sculpt is amazing.
Yeah, he looks really good. It's very nice. Very nice. That never happened.
No.
This never happened either.
I like the
Nice pick.
actually, this never happened.
That maybe happened. Oh, there's my ePay. Anyway. Yeah, so this is all you're right. You guys are right. This comes with a lot of stuff. You get the 2 head sculpts, you get the robe, you get the baby lightning hands, you get the interchangeable Sidious and Palpatine hands, you get the 2 lightsabers, you get the LED light up thing, you get the base. It's a pretty good deal in my view, considering what a lot of things are going for these days. So that's Palps. And then there was a couple others that went up to the Grogu life size. The 2.0 is up for pre-order on Sideshow right now. So this is we kind of talked about it in previous weeks. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time there. The dueling effect one is up for pre-order as well. This one's $295. That was a Celebration exclusive as well.
I'm amazed
and
that's
then,
still up. You know,
what's that?
Is the cherry blossom still available to purchase?
It's
No,
on
it's on wait list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it.
Oh,
Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
went on
realize
their
it.
website to try to snag it, and immediately it said join waitlist. I'm like, damn.
It was up for a really long time, long enough for me to put it in my cart, think about it, and realize I don't need this, and then delete it from my cart.
There you go. Self-control.
So friends of mine in Celebration were telling me that this one was the most sought out figure for everybody that wanted to buy at Star Wars Celebration, and that the dueling effect Vader was sitting there for like 2.5 days where nobody was purchasing it as much.
That makes perfect sense, because if I had gone to Celebration, this would be the perfect distillation of Celebration, the Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the perfect souvenir from Star Wars
Yeah.
Celebration.
Mhm.
But me not having gone to Star Wars Celebration in Japan, I was just like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Because but had I gone, I definitely would have purchased this, because talk about a collector's item.
It's beautiful.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, it is neat. I hadn't even realized it went up. See, that's what happens when you have to go to work.
Now watch, people are going to be talking about this the same way they talk about the porcelain Stormtrooper.
Right.
You know, where you look at that years later, go, ooh, that looks cool. Then you see the price it's going for, you're like, ooh.
Right.
So there's this. Is it Hano Studio? I don't really know how to say it. I've always struggled.
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
Hano.
Okay.
Hano.
So they have their Rebel style Darth Vader pre-order for $220. It's pretty cool. I mean, not for me. I mean, I kind of feel like, I really like it. I really do. Like, I would love to have it, but it's kind of just one of those things. Like, I don't want to start having to feel obligated to buy like the clones or the Stormtroopers and then buying like any other animated Rebels thing they do. So I'm not biting yet, but we'll see. Those look cool though.
I was so damn tempted to pick this up because it's so close to what I really want, which is a Ralph McQuarrie 1/6 scale Vader. And this is just so close to that. It's just, I have 4 Vaders and I'm thinking about getting a 5th, and this ain't it. And the price, I would say the price is close to right for this. I mean, you get a light up saber. The chest box and those things don't look like they light up, but the saber does, and that's worth something. the proportions look good, although I remember him being a little skinnier. But hey, I think
True.
this is something I never thought they would do. So I'm very impressed that they did it in the Hano line. I wish it was about $10 to $15 cheaper, considering what you get, especially if it's supposed to be entry level, entry grade. But I cannot deny that it does look really, really good. And if I had all the monies, I would immediately. That's not to say I won't pick this up later on and have this sitting on like my desk at work, because I think it looks really great. Now, if they do a Grand Admiral Thrawn from Rebels in this style as well on the Hano line, then I'm cooked. I'm done. I'm in at that point, because you saw earlier they did one of the stormtroopers, and it had Thrawn's insignia, the Chimera on its pauldron, which made me think, are they going to do a Thrawn in this style, in this scale? In which case, oh no, I may have to go. I may have to go in on the Hano, but we shall see.
It is really nice. It is really, really, really nice. And then 2 dropped overnight that are now up for pre-order. So first one, Jar Jar Binks.
I pre-ordered
$2.85.
2 of these. Pre-ordered 2 of these.
Nice.
Ooh.
I want
I
a
would
regular
pre-order
Jar Jar
one
and
of
a Darth Jar Jar.
I was gonna say it's a missed opportunity that it didn't come with a cloak. It's just
I'm
a
gonna
robe,
steal
like
a
a dark
cloak.
robe.
I'm gonna steal a cloak from one of the other figures that I have and just try, or I'm gonna beg a friend to like sew me one.
Yeah, this is a neat one. It's really neat. I haven't pulled the trigger yet myself, but the temptation is there. Trust me. I just love the way they went about it, like being able to do like the faceplate thing, and then the tongue and the eyes. It's just a really neat piece. I mean, it's kind of one of those that, they're doing it now, probably never going to do it again. So
I mean, the
don't
fact that
wanna
they
miss it.
did seamless arms was great. They did
know.
seamless arms. The fact that they did this figure at all is great,
Awesome.
and I'm really impressed. And I would definitely be purchasing this because it is an important character. And for whatever reason, back in the day, we put the actor through holy hell and back, and that wasn't right. So yeah, no, the character is a pretty great character. Kids love him, adults love him, and he deserves a place in my collection. And it turned out great.
100%. I'm curious how the tongue's going to work. Like, is it just an accessory you can just take out and put in? Does anybody know?
I think it's magnetic. Is it magnetic?
I think it's magnetic.
Okay, nice. That's such a cool touch.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I think
It
we
looks
were
pretty
teased
tall,
with this
too.
figure, last year?
Yeah, it was last year that they.
It was last year we were
teasing it.
teased with
I
this.
think like last
yeah.
summer. Yeah. And of course, the talk was they're never going to release that.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
I remember I was in one of the shows with Leal and I forgot who else on a Monday night show, and we were talking about this, and I kept telling Leal that I didn't think that they were ever gonna release this. And then when I saw it this morning, I did one of those like screeches. I was like, I ran immediately to their website. I was like, I'm gonna pre-order 2 of them because I love this character. I think Victoria, she laughed at the video that I did yesterday for May the 4th. I dressed up like Darth Jar Jar. So I needed this.
Nice.
That was funny. Yeah, he's great. He turned out really, really, really great. And then another one, finally, after forever and a half, for Poe Dameron finally coming to Hot Toys.
Beautiful face sculpt.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that is one handsome man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this for sure is a definite for me. Definite. Yeah. It's kind of almost a good thing that it took this long, because now he's got the posable eyes. Now he's got an improved likeness. The hair looks really nice. The tailoring looks really clean on this one. So, I mean, I know everybody was like, oh, why is it taking so long? But it's kind of worked out that it did, because the end result here in these promotional images, at least, looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
really
imagine if they'd
like the
rushed
hair.
it. If they'd rushed it, it would have come out looking like the Hasbro Black Series Poe Dameron with
God.
the eyebrows that were a little off. You remember that one? Wasn't that one great?
Oh yeah, and he that one, yeah, that didn't look anything like Poe Dameron at all.
No.
That
No.
was yeah, I kind of forgot how bad that was now that you mentioned it though. Yeah.
Simpler times.
That was more like Al Pacino than Poe Dameron. But yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. Really cool. He's gonna have a prominent spot once he comes in, along with Rey and Finn and Kylo. I mean, I guess the good thing about this too is it can kind of go with any, like, you can have Force Awakens, you can have Last Jedi, you can have Rise of Skywalker, and he'll fit into any of those scenes.
Does it come with a BB-8?
No.
What the hell?
Well, they made BB-8, so I mean, I can kind of
but
I
it's his
get it.
droid.
I know. I mean,
They could have had a miniature version of it with him.
Like he has his own action figure kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It turned out really great. No,
he did. He looks great. Yeah, I need to get on the bone and get the pre-order for that. But let's jump over to Instagram Hot Toys, because as we've been streaming, there's something that did go up. So as of right now, there is the 1/6 scale Elite Squad Trooper. It says that this is. It sounds like it's from Bad Batch. It says first introduced by Vice Admiral Rampart. So yeah, this looks to be Bad Batch related. Yeah, I mean it's cool. If you watch the show, then I mean they weren't clones. I think though. I think if I remember correctly, they were just like they were recruits that were wearing this armor. It's been a while since I watched season 1.
Yeah, they were just enlisted. They weren't clones. They were. Let's see. They were the people right under Crosshair.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, but the fact that these are limited. I mean, how many did they make? Is it 2,000 or 1,500?
I think it's
2,000. 2,000. The thing about troopers, and I've said this more than once, is that we always say, wouldn't it be nice if we could have gotten 2? And this, if it's 1,500 or 2,000, I mean, it may sit for a hot minute. That's true. It may sit for a hot minute, but most people, a lot of people, I would say, if they're going to purchase something like this, may purchase a pair. 2. Exactly. They're not cheap, so purchasing more than 2, then it gets a little dicey. But it just having 2 of any trooper on a shelf, it just really, really sets off the display. Having 1, it's like, okay, well, it's, I mean, it's there, but having 2 of these, and the fact that it comes with different weapons and whatnot, you could have them holding different weapons, then it really comes together. So I don't know. It's an interesting business move, but what do I know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not for me, but nice to look at. And then another one from last night, Clone Commando Boss. Another one of their Clone Commandos that they're doing. Are any of you guys interested in this one? I haven't been doing the Clone Commandos, but it looks neat.
I'm not personally, but I love it, and honestly, I loved the Republic Commando game. Like, I actually did a playthrough of it like late last year. It still holds up so well, but for me, it just puts pressure on you. Have to have all 4. You have to get the whole squad, and if they sell out, then you feel like so upset. Like I know, like Bad Batch, some people, like a lot of people, couldn't get Crosshair and stuff because he's on he went to waitlist real quick. So I feel like if you're going to put out something that's a crew, you have to be able to buy the whole crew. And I feel like if I just bought Boss, or Scorch is already on waitlist, I think he was the first one they released. So I feel like it puts pressure on you to have to be able to get all 4. And if you can't, then you're just sitting with an incomplete crew. So that was my problem with it personally. But love the Republic Commando game. I love the Republic Commandos, and I think it looks awesome. But it's just my take. I'm probably not going to get it because of that reason.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, some of these crews you got to be, I mean, you could pick and choose, but it'd be kind of, I think most people are probably going to want to complete the crew.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Still pretty
that'll
cool.
do it. It is very cool. It is very, very, very cool. So, all right, let's get into the main portion of this show. So we're talking Revenge of the Sith 20th. It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years. In some ways, it feels like it was just a few years ago, but gosh, 20 years. So I want to show you guys something. I'm going to pull something up here. And I'm just wondering if anyone, if you guys can tell me what you feel when you see this, what you remember from when you very, very first saw this image.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness. See, I'm also remembering the original, that trailer that interspliced like Obi-Wan talking about for 1,000 generations. The Jedi were before the Empire, before the Dark Times, before the Empire, and then it gets into
It
that.
turns around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that trailer. I watched it on repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
I think
image
that
too.
came out. Mm-hmm.
I was saying the image, like this poster too, like every prequel film, they had the main poster with like the cast line and all that, but then they had like alternate posters.
Yeah.
So this one was so cool, but like they had the Phantom Menace one was little Anakin walking with the Vader shadow of the like alternate ones. Then the Attack of the Clones was the Anakin and Padme like looking down to the side, and so like a Jedi shall not know hatred nor anger nor love. And then this came out, but the alternate posters for the prequels were all so good.
Remember the one that said Sith happens?
No, but
There was one that said Sith happens, and then there was another one because I think it was around Father's Day, and it's like, "Who's your daddy?" And it was Darth Vader. Oh,
It's
yeah,
like what is it? It's like the clothing company, Her Universe. They started selling Daddy Vader shirts, and they sold out. But like people were offended that it said Daddy with the Vader, and I was like, technically he did have 2 kids, so he is a daddy.
right.
I mean, his name literally means Dark Father, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have this hanging on my wall to this day. It's a smaller version than the one I had back in 2005, but I mean, I've always loved this image. Like just before you saw the film, like this was like a perfect teaser because you knew what was going to happen in that movie. You didn't know how it was going to happen exactly, but like you knew this was going to be the end result, and then it just started. I mean, you start thinking like, well, shoot, does he have a red lightsaber? Like, what's it going to be like when this finally comes out? So yeah, this is a really special poster. I really have some warm feelings seeing it.
Yeah.
So 2005. This 2005 was a different time. It was a very different era from today. I mean, technology was, the internet was pretty big, as I recall. I mean, people had cell phones, but they weren't smartphones. So those didn't come about for another couple of years. I think even the internet, there was like higher speeds internet. I don't think it was quite like, as quick as it is now. But like, I guess when I think back on that time, it just like this movie in 2005, like anchors for me, like everything else that was going on. Like when I think about this movie, I think about everything else going on. I had just moved. I grew up in Texas. So I had just gone off on my own to go to college. And I was like, I remember I had a job and, I was doing, it was a horrible job. I was telemarketing. It was terrible. I would never like recommend it to anybody. But like, I when I think about the film, I just remember like the Burger King promotion. I remember like going to work and then like hearing the commercials in my car and then like coming home and going online to like Rebel Scum to look at all the new toys and like, that kind of like just, it really like puts me back in a place that now is so long ago, but it just like if you take that movie out, like those things are still there, but I don't know, it's just thinking about the film like being in that time, it just like really like anchors everything around it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally. And I remember so much of the hype building up to it, like you were saying, the internet was very different. Like YouTube was a thing, but I remember when the trailer dropped, it wasn't like all over YouTube. Like you had to go to like the website to watch it. And I remember how many times we watched that trailer, and the one snippet where General Grievous punches, like we kept like slowing it down, trying to pause it to see what Grievous was going to look like, because there's a lot of speculation of what they were going to make Grievous look like in it. And then we read that like it was going to be the first one that's PG-13, and we were just like, whoa, it's so dark and intense. It's like, it just, the hype leading up to it was just so awesome. And yeah, I remember a lot of like those elements to it, and reading an article talking about all the lightsaber duels that were going to be in it. And it was just like, this thing sounds so crazy, but just the hype leading up to it was just so special. And I was in college and at the time, so, and I guess it was my sophomore year in college, and I was in a fraternity, and I think there were two other guys that were like really big into Star Wars, like I was. But I remember like we would always like nerd out, like we would like send somebody send one an article, like, did you see this now? There's 8 lightsaber duels in it, blah blah blah, and we were just like, whoa, and the whole thing was just mind blowing. But we were like so hyped before the film even came out, but it was just so awesome.
Yeah, I just graduated. I was graduating high school that year when that movie came out, and I remember like friends and I were on you know, like how Victoria brought up the internet. We were on Yahoo Messenger in like a group chat with different Star Wars like Star Wars community people, and we were talking about the film. So it was just like the hype for it. It was cool back then, like just being on like different group chats on internet pages and just like having these conversations with people you've never met before, but you didn't see their face like how we do now.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I remember Attack of the Clones because we kept trying to watch the trailer, and it was like this big on the internet.
Yeah.
It was like this big actually, and we're like, okay, well, what's going on? And we watch it on repeat, but it was this big. It was this big. So by the time you got to Revenge of the Sith, you had iTunes, and you had trailers on iTunes in HD, or at least what we thought was HD, and you could actually go full screen and all this stuff. And so seeing it like that. In addition to, and I brought something out, in addition to the music videos, remember Star Wars music videos where it's like, there's the music of John Williams and it's going to show, clips of the film. So you had one for Phantom Menace, you had one for Attack of the Clones, and the one for Revenge of the Sith, which featured Battle of the Heroes. Watching that on repeat. So the soundtrack for the film, which I have on vinyl, with that fabulous artwork by Drew Struzan. That was... oh my God. And I met Drew Struzan once, talked to him for like an hour. The man told me his entire life story. I love his work. Of course, as you know, he did the special edition posters, and then he did the posters for all the prequels. Pretty much every now considered Legends Star Wars book, he did the cover for those books, and painted the covers for those, Harry Potter and Back to the Future, Hook, all those things. But in any case, I remember because I'd moved from Oklahoma to Boston right after undergrad, and that was back when, as you mentioned, there were no smartphones. I remember we bought our tickets, and then we sat in line for hours. We sat in line for, I can't remember how many hours, 7-8 hours, to wait for our showing of Revenge of the Sith. And there were people dressed up and everything, but I remember that we sat in line, and that's the only film I've ever sat in line for to watch, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember calling Movie Phone to get like the times for the movies back then?
Yeah.
There was there wasn't going on on Fandango. Like, you went to the actual movie theaters, or you went on moviephone.com and you found out what time the movie was coming out, and you would show up like an hour early to be able to get tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, because there was no reserved seating or any of that kind of thing.
There was no reserved seating. So like you were literally getting there early to fight somebody and make sure like no one's taking all your seats.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, I miss those days so much.
Yes.
Like the convenience of having a reserved seat and all that's cool. But for Star Wars specifically, I also have so many fond memories of going early, waiting, like talking to people, like waiting in the line, like people were playing board games, like Star Wars board games, playing the music. Like I miss those type of communal things. Like it's kind of similar. Like I've been to cons, but I've never been to a celebration. Like I'm really hoping to get out for 2027. Like it's just such a life goal. But I just hear from people a lot of their best memories of celebration are hanging out with people and the stuff around the actual events. But that was like something that was special with the movies back in the day that we got to enjoy that we kind of don't now, which I don't know. I miss that stuff.
No, you're right. People would dress up, and people were sharing theories and all this stuff. It's like, when he's gonna fall into the lava? Well, he did. I don't know why we're like, he's gonna fall into the lava, because for whatever reason that's stuck in my head. I'm like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna fall into the lava. That's clearly what happened to him. Because people can come back from that, right? When they fall into the lava. How's it gonna happen? How are the Jedi gonna be, bested and all this stuff? And then we had no idea what Order 66 was. When it happened, it was just like, it was all shocking. It was all a surprise. We didn't know what the fight was going to look like. We didn't know. It was all new. It was all new. And for whatever reason, we thought it was going to be the last Star Wars we were ever going to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going midnight showing, opening night, and I had a roommate at the time that was supposed to go with me, bailed on me, so I went alone, which is fine. But I obviously still remember it. But
it's fine.
What is it? What's his name's character from Happy Gilmore, where he's got the list of people who've done them wrong? Victoria's like, you didn't go to the movies with me. I'm waiting for you to apologize. I'm going to cross your name off that list.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, like I just remember sitting there and just, I mean, I had seen the other ones, obviously. I had grown up kind of in the 90s, like the special edition of the original trilogy like that. But like, so I mean, like seeing this and as they were saying, this is the last Star Wars movie, this is the end of this trilogy, you're so invested, like, at the age I was when the prequels were coming out, like I was just like so emotionally and like, and collecting wise too, like just very invested in that story, and to see it unfold like before my eyes on screen and see like Anakin become bad, and then Order 66, and then the duel, and at the end, like just, it was very, 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 like when I left the theater, I remember feeling very like emotionally exhausted, just like, it was very heavy.
Like forced trauma was placed upon you.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I saw the re-release last Saturday in the theater, I felt much the same way, where I'm like, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was sad. A lot of it was sad and dark, and that was a lot. But it was also an incredible experience watching it on the big screen. Watching it on a TV at home with 7.1 surround sound and all that stuff, a 65-inch TV. I've seen the film countless times, but watching it will never look as good as it does in a movie theater, calibrated the way it's supposed to look in a movie theater, with the sound in a movie theater. But also the biggest thing I miss in this modern age of Star Wars, with so much of Star Wars being on television, is the communal experience of watching it with a theater full of people on the biggest screen you can find. Star Wars is supposed to be big. It's supposed to be on the big screen. The worlds are big. The battles are big. It's all big. Not, you watch it on your phone. What's special about that? You watch it on your phone by yourself. Congratulations, Star Wars. So it was nice to watch a Star Wars movie in a crowded theater with people that wanted to see, Star Wars. And it was, and I got goosebumps while watching it. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You see so much more, like too, like so much more detail when it's like blown up that way. Like I remember when I was watching it the other night, just remember, like I kind of not so much forgotten, but like it made itself, like I remembered like certain little details that you just don't see when you're watching it on TV, like Palpatine's crazy expressions and just like, just like little things that are that you can't replicate unless you have that theater experience. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a movie that was made for the theater, and like to see it that way, like it's still to this day the one movie I've seen more than any other movie in the theater, and that's been the case for 20 years. But
Yeah.
I just added another to my list. But I saw it 5 times back in 2005, and then I added a 6th one to my list. So it still holds that record. Probably will always hold that record, I imagine.
Nice.
So I saw it the 3 days that it was out this past weekend. I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And honestly, the more I kept seeing it, like how Pressa X said, it was incredibly sad. It was a very sad movie, from the beginning to the end. And most of the, like after, what was it, Saturday night when I finished watching it, I turned around and looked at one of my friends. I was like, this is trauma. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to go see it for a 3rd time on Sunday. I was like, I can't continue experiencing this. And then, like different scenes, I was able to see, I guess, like little Easter eggs or maybe things that I didn't realize back then in 2005 or any times that I've watched it, on Disney Plus. So, I got to see it from a different perspective of, 20 years of knowledge of what I knew of it, but then I got to gain new knowledge of the movie itself.
Totally.
My favorite Easter egg is when Grievous does he splits his arms apart, but in the background you have these 2 droids and one taps the other on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, check this out." And they both turn around, and I love that. It's like, "Oh wait, check this out."
He's like, we're about to see him go ballistic.
So good. So good.
There was also, like, I'll be honest with you, when I went to go see it Sunday, there was a couple times that I kept thinking to myself, and somebody put it on the chat. All they had to do was grant him rank of master. We would have avoided this.
Well, I mean, you go all the way back to Phantom Menace and that great piece called Duel of the Fates, where it is Anakin's fate that is being decided. And if Qui-Gon wins, then Anakin's in good hands because he's going to have this father figure he's never had before. And he's going to, fulfill the prophecy of, he's going to be a pretty great Jedi. But then if Maul wins, then he's going to lose the father figure. And Obi-Wan's going to go, well, I guess I'll train you. And then the council already is like, we don't like this kid, but sure, reluctantly. And the father figure will instead become Palpatine. And so that was the fulfillment of, so then watching Revenge of the Sith and having that music play when Palpatine and Yoda are fighting and all that stuff. It's like, yes, it's all coming together. It's all, you're fulfilling your destiny. And we saw how it started and this is how it's going to end.
Yeah. Right. Plus, we also got to watch 2 hours of just straight manipulation from Palpatine. He just manipulated Anakin for 2 hours.
Well, sadly, everything he was saying was true. Whether he set it up with the Jedi to be true, but the Jedi were proving his point every time. It's like, they don't trust you. And then the next scene, you have Mace Windu go, I don't think the boy can handle it. I don't trust him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You clearly don't trust him. They made you do something that made you feel dishonest, didn't they? They told you to spy on me, didn't they? And it's like, yes.
Right. And then he's remembering the beginning which I got to mention it again. This is something it took me 20 years to catch, but after Anakin kills Dooku and then tells Palpatine, I shouldn't have done that. He was an unarmed citizen. It took me 20 years to for that to click. Okay, he doesn't have arms. I get it now. But he says in that moment, he shouldn't have done that because he was an unarmed citizen. But then a little bit later, he's saying Mace about to do the same thing to Palpatine. He's like, okay, well, that's not the Jedi way. So everything is just starting to make sense to him, not necessarily in the right way, but everything Palpatine's saying is fitting. Every little thing that he's saying about the Jedi, it fits. It might not be exactly the same. Anakin's interpretation might not be the right way, but everything Palpatine's saying is happening.
I mean, literally, when he tells him, hey, they don't trust you. And then when he goes and tells on Palpatine to Mace and goes, he's like, well, if what you told me is true, then you will have earned my trust, which basically means I don't trust you.
I don't trust you.
Your face. It's
Yeah.
So I had a question to ask you guys. So remember in the movie, they come back. They come back. He says hi to Padme, and I guess he has a conversation after that with Palpatine, and then cutscene. It's Anakin and Padme in bed sleeping, and he has the dreams of her dying. Do you guys think that maybe Palpatine had manipulated that dream in order to, because he did say to Grievous at the time, he said, soon I will have another apprentice, much younger and much stronger. And then that scene happens where he has a dream about his wife dying. So do you think that it could possibly have been that he was manipulating him even through his dreams to kind of just swerve him a little bit more, where he tells him, like, I can help you save your wife from dying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's cool.
Remember? Oh yeah, you go.
No, good.
No. I've been talking a lot.
So, you're good. But
No, you're good.
I was just saying, like, I think it's kind of the artistry in the filmmaking is leaving that open to interpretation. Like, I think it's completely feasible to think yes, and it's completely feasible to think no, and that's just artistry for me. Like, I feel like you don't need to be straight up confirmed told everything that happens. I love the fact that it leaves something like this open for debate and for questioning. So I think it's beautifully done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on some level, Palpatine, like, remember when Palpatine's like, only through me can you learn, these powers and save your wife from certain death. It's like, wait, how do you know about this?
Yeah, how do you know that's my wife?
About this, which is like why Anakin's like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Like,
Or like how people like to argue the fact that if Yoda was so intuitive and could sense things were going on, how could he have not sensed Palpatine? How could he have not sensed that Order 66 was going to happen? So it's just like a combination of stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And what if
the sheer amount
Palpatine?
of like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
What
like
if
they
Palpatine
said in
somehow?
was that Joe?
I was saying, what if Palpatine secretly is sucking the life out of Padme, and Palpatine somehow contributes to Padme's death?
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be like you said, open to interpretation. I mean, I kind of feel like
That was always my take.
yeah. I mean, I feel like the dreams, like I don't think Palpatine necessarily like was responsible for the dreams. Like my interpretation is Anakin had those dreams, and what he did next was he could have done anything, right? But Palpatine used that as an in to take advantage. And I know part of it too, like in Attack of the Clones, Mace says, well, everything's clouded by the dark side, our ability to use the Force is diminished. So I mean, I think they couldn't see like all the darkness that was necessarily happening until it was too late. But yeah, I mean, like you're saying, like Palpatine was just a great manipulator. Like he took every little thing that happened and he took advantage of it.
Yeah.
But one thing too that like when rewatching it the other day that like kind of was interesting because we have Andor season 2 going on, and a lot of the themes in Andor are also in Revenge of the Sith, like all the political stuff and the darkness like taking over everything, and like it's interesting because they're like more than with season 1. I feel like it feels like it's almost perhaps not a companion piece because they are very different, but like they flow in a way that I hadn't quite realized until I saw it again the other day.
I mean, both Andor season 2 and Revenge of the Sith. I mean, the whole prequels. You see this darkness just slowly seeping into what starts with a trade dispute, ends with a galactic civil war, which ends with the fall of the Republic. It's just all these chess pieces that are put in place, the domino effect of, and then the spreading of darkness, which clouds, of course, the Jedi's vision, and then taking the Jedi down in that way, getting them to betray their own principles in every way, shape, and form. And it's like, you think you're peacekeepers, but you're all generals right now. That doesn't sound very peaceful to me. You're leading armies. That sounds like the exact opposite of what a Jedi is supposed to be. So I'm going to make you betray all your principles and show you as the hypocrites that you are, and then fell you in Order 66, you know? So it's like, yeah, I'm going to break you down. You're going to break you down. They're their own worst enemy, the Jedi.
Yeah. And piggybacking on that, I hate using these cliche office terms, but piggybacking on that, in the Clone Wars, when it shows how, taking it to Ahsoka, how brilliant she was at such a young age. But there was at one point when she said, like, I can't remember if she was talking to Rex or who, but she was talking to somebody, and she was like, yeah, we were taught that Jedi were peacekeepers of the peace and not soldiers. But since I've been here, all I've known is ever being a soldier. Like, even like Ahsoka was figuring it out at such a young age, which was so brilliant. But anyway, it just kind of popped in my head, like, talking about that.
No, but that was one of the main reasons why she had left the Jedi Order, because she saw different views of everything that was going on. And she also saw, you know, like they also were hinted that there was something wrong with the Jedi because of Barriss Offee as well. You know, she was one of the biggest people to rant off and say that there was something very wrong with the Jedi as well, and that it wasn't just only the Sith that were, you know, that had issues too.
Yeah, the fact that the Jedi become so bureaucratic and lacked compassion, that was like the big, you know, part of Ahsoka's arc, where, you know, they're immediately like, yeah, you're probably guilty. It's like, whoa. And then when she did prove her innocence, they're like, welcome back. She's like, no, no, I can't come back. You're clearly not what I thought you were. You're not what you think you are. The Jedi are not what they think they are. And one of the most beautiful things I found with Revenge of the Sith is that you watch those last four. Clone Wars in its totality, you know, really adds a lot to the prequels. I mean, the prequels are probably the most fleshed out, era of Star Wars that we've got. But those last 4 episodes of the last season of Clone Wars, in addition to Revenge of the Sith, combined, tells just the most tragic story when you realize that the Clone Wars, how dark that is, to say, okay, we're going to fight this war. Well, how are we going to fight it? We're going to clone people, but they're property of Kaminoan. So, you know, we're going to clone people to fight this war for us. You're cloning people that are property of a nation, of a planet, and they're going to, sole purpose is to fight this war
and die.
That's kind of dark, and the Jedi are okay with this, and they're going to lead this, okay, but it's not a real war. And so at the end of the day, the only person who won was Palpatine. Everyone else, the clones, the Republic, the Jedi, Anakin, they all lost everything.
Yeah, it's true. I have a question for you guys. I'm going to tell you, after you guys answer, I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I'm going to tell you what Ian McDiarmid told me. But when he transforms, lightning is reflected back to him. He becomes looks like a totally different character. Is that his real appearance, or is the lightning deforming him, as he puts it later during the Senate scenes?
Ooh.
You just blew my mind. God.
I've gone back and forth on that so many times.
Yeah.
Because you read the Plagueis novel and you think, okay, yeah, it's one way, but then you hear about how force lightning works, and it's like, okay, well, why can't you just stop it? It's like, well, you can't just turn it off that easily. And so when it gets in that, and it was going in a loop essentially, where it was hitting the blade and then coming back to him, so it's not like you can just turn it off. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Did he give the real answer? Like when, you know, John Carpenter's like, yeah, here's who was the thing at the end of the thing.
Well, my interpretation was always that it was the lightning that distorted him. I know back at the time, Rick McCallum said that it was his, you know, produced the movie, said it was his actual appearance coming out. I don't know that Lucas ever confirmed one way or the other. But I did ask Ian McDiarmid when I got to meet him at Celebration here in Anaheim a couple of years ago. And believe it or not, he didn't really answer the question. Instead, what he said it's an interesting, he said something along the lines of, it's an interesting question, but dear girl, you're missing the point. It's not, you know, what he looked like or if he got damaged by the lightning. It was the fact that the power of words can transform a republic into an empire. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I always felt like that was his true face, and that the chancellor that we got was just a disguise.
Yeah, for the longest time, that was my understanding of it, where it's like he had, I think it's called what, Force Mask or something, where
Yeah.
not only can he mask his presence, he's surrounded by Jedi all the time. So it's like, and you can't sense me. I'm the most powerful Sith Lord in the galaxy, and you just don't know I'm right in front of you. We're gonna hang out and be buddies, and I'm gonna learn everything there is to know about the Jedi, so I can tear you down piece by piece. Meanwhile, you're not gonna know, who's actually standing in front of you. So I do think that, one part of it is like, oh, you can't maintain it and also shoot that much Force lightning against someone as powerful as Mace Windu, who's, able to deflect it back. It's like, that's just too much effort. And at this point, he's kind of like, well, why am I don't even need to try at this point, because I'm this close to getting exactly what I want. And so he's like, please don't let him kill me. And like looks like, all right, great. I'm too weak. Oh, I'm too weak.
See,
like,
we're bringing up that scene, and like I've always wanted to know, what if Anakin actually had listened to Mace Windu and would have stayed in the Jedi Council waiting area and never showed up? And we still get the scene where, Palpatine somehow can jump out of his chair, do a 180 little shimmy in the air, and then kill Kit Fisto and two other Jedis, and then is on the floor almost being killed by Mace. If Anakin never showed up, would we have had Mace Windu would have killed him?
I think Mace Windu would have killed him, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think, but being the chess player that Palpatine was, is like, I have a pretty good feeling I know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
But, because he's always, he's playing 4D chess. He's always how many steps ahead? And so he, I think he had a pretty good idea. Whether he had a contingency plan or a backup plan or something that would save him from Mace, and because Mace, again, is super, super powerful. And the fact that he decided to fight him, though, with a lightsaber, I mean, who's to say that he wouldn't start throwing furniture around the room at Mace to go, hey, guess what? We're still fighting. Well, guess what? The stuff I'm going to do later when I'm fighting Yoda, let me just do that now and just start throwing parts of the building at you.
He was just launching bombs at Yoda.
Literally. And the fact
like, this little green alien is not getting me.
My little green friend. Yeah, the fact that he was even using a lightsaber is just to poke fun at the Jedi. He's like, I don't need to use this. I'm doing this to poke fun at one of your little traditions. You love your little laser swords. So here, I'm going to show you I can use a laser sword, but I don't like using lightsabers. He loves everything but a lightsaber. And he's just like, but I'm going to take you down with your little trinket here, because sure, why not?
Right. But yeah, I mean, I guess to put a cap on Revenge of the Sith turning 20, and I apologize, my dog kind of took over my lap. Yeah, it's
he's like, you must bow to me. Look at the face.
You're just staring at me. I mean, I guess I'll end it by just saying I love the movie. Thank you for yawning my face. How do you guys rank Revenge of the Sith? Like, I mean, ranking is for me is kind of hard, but like if you had to rank it amongst the other saga films, like how do you rank Revenge of the Sith?
Ooh.
For me, it's always like, for me, before Rogue One had came out, it was Empire, Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi. But then when Rogue One came out, it kind of just went a little bit higher for me. Revenge of the Sith is always going to be my favorite movie. So it would be like Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, and then Rogue One.
Yeah.
Right on.
But like, because of the fact rewatching it 3 times, when it came out this past week, I've grown so much more of appreciation for this film.
Joe?
So honestly, I'm probably in the minority on this, but it's in the middle for me. And it's, truth be told, I love every single Star Wars movie. There's not a single one I disliked, and if I had to list all my favorite movies of all time, minus like the Halloween movies, the Star Wars movies are literally all of my favorite movies of all time. So I love all of them, but I think Revenge of the Sith is more in the middle to me. Like I've said many times, like my top 3 are Empire, Attack of the Clones, and The Force Awakens, and they each have their own reasons why. But the reason, like Revenge of the Sith is excellent, but my biggest thing with it is I'm a victim of what it actually is. It's so emotionally draining, and it's so heavy to watch that many times I don't want to feel like that. And like even seeing it in the theaters I don't even know how many time I've seen it. But seeing it in theaters, I still cried when Order 66 happened and John Williams scores kicking in. And I can't feel like that all the time, the way that movie makes me feel. So I kind of put it in the middle that it's not one I watch like one of my go-tos always to watch, but because of that, but like at the same time, that's what the movie intends to do. That's what it's supposed to show, and it brilliantly does it. Like from so many points of view, it's a perfect Star Wars movie. It has humor, it has like the amazing plot and story building aspects to it. It's got agony, it's got triumph, it's got hope in the end. Like it has every element you'd want to see, but like I don't know. I like others more, but a lot of it is just I just don't want to feel like that all the time. So. Yeah.
X.
I have to say it's a movie I think about at least once a day, which is it's just so quotable that
You've demonstrated this, yes.
Yes.
Like every now and then I'll find myself coming into the office and saying, "What's the situation?" Just as Count Dooku predicted. You fool. Army or not, you must realize you are doomed.
I needed you at my theater for Sunday because there was only 3 of us that were quoting the movie.
I do it quietly to myself because I'll do it when I'm at home, which but when I'm out and about, I won't. But yeah, I will. I liked. There's just so many quotable moments. It's treason. Then are you threatening me, Master Jedi? It's just so damn. I mean, it's like it. That's the film, and rightly so, that it all came together so well. The special effects came together, the music came together, the action came together. The acting was ahead of where it was in previous films, and that the actors, I think, were more comfortable with each other. That the director was more comfortable with his actors, and I think everyone did pull out the stops as though it was going to be the very last Star Wars. Whether it was the actors, whether it was ILM, and if you haven't seen Light and Magic on Disney Plus, season 2 is out, and it actually offers some really good insights into the prequel trilogy. It's called Light and Magic on Disney Plus, and it's really, really good. But in terms of ranking, I like the dark stuff. So Empire Strikes Back is of course my favorite. And it's also, of course, Rogue One is also one of my favorites. So I would say Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, just because it's A New Hope and gives me special feels. Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, and Revenge of the Sith would be my ranking for films. And then Attack of the Clones, actually then Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then Solo. And then the Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and then Rise of Skywalker.
Cool. Very cool. I mean, as for me, I really love the film. It came out at a time where I, for various reasons, I resonated a lot with what Anakin was going through, and um, it was just, I don't know, it really affected me when I saw it the first time, and again, just that era is very much anchored by this movie, and I mean, for me, I go back and forth. I mean, I think there's such a thing as best. Like if I rank like what's the best Star Wars movie, and then what's your favorite. Like my best list is different from my favorites list. So if I was to say what my favorite is, I do go back and forth between Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith. It just depends on the day. But to me, those two are interchangeable. I mean, after that, it also changes, like just depending on when I'm asked. But yeah, I really adore the movie, and it's crazy. Again, it's been 20 years, but here we are, and the film's done really well, and it's re-released. So I'm hoping that Lucasfilm continues this, re-release schedule of these films, because I mean, there's nothing like seeing them in the theaters.
I want to get an Attack of the Clones in theaters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, why? Why have we not?
I'm guessing let's see, when did that come out? 2002?
Two. So it was 2022 was the 20 year for it. Yeah. So maybe they'll do 25.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Oh no, there's no way they would, because that'd be 2027, and I'm assuming they'll do a New Hope re-release for the 50th. They would have to.
Or they can just re-release all the films in theaters.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty great.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get some big extravaganza for the 50th, where it's just like, you know what? Here's all the Star Wars. The whole year of Star Wars films. We're going to release 1 through 9 in theaters again. Here's the release schedule. Go nuts.
Well, there has been a few movie theaters. Not here in Florida, but I have seen it in other states where they've been releasing, like, they'll do like all the movies in one day, and then they have like intermissions in between it.
Yep. So they did that for May the 4th, and they did 11 theaters last year. They did the 9 movie
the 9
marathon.
movies.
So I'm in DC, and they did it was in DC area, but it was in Virginia, but it was probably like 11 miles out, but they did it there. And I thought so hard about going, but I decided not to spend my May the 4th separately and not be like glued into the theater that long, but just going over the pros and cons. Like, there's one person coughing in that theater the whole time. I'm be like, oh God, so decided to watch all 9 movies at home with my wife and played games, and we had fun. So it was good, but they have done that. So they'll probably do that again sometime.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I suspect with the 50th of A New Hope coming up, that very good chance that it'll probably return to theaters as well.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how did I miss the fact that Attack of the Clones wasn't re-released? Phantom Menace was, and Revenge of the Sith was. I mean, let's face it. The last 30 minutes of Attack of the Clones is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in fact, once they reach like Camino, from then on, the film for me, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for it. Let's do this.
It's like I said, it's one of my favorites, and just everything about it. Like, I think up until maybe The Last Jedi, like Attack of the Clones was probably the most ambitious, like, risk-taking Star Wars movie. Like, they did so much different stuff. They made it feel like a mystery, which they'd never done before. And just the storytelling and what was unfolding with the lore in that movie was just so huge. Like, it kind of laid the framework of everything that was about to happen for the rest of the saga. So it's so good. But I would love to see it re-released. And yeah, that last half of it is just so good. The last like 40 minutes or so. Some of the best Star Wars we've seen. It's the dawning of the Clone Wars. You essentially see the first battle of the Clone Wars. And like, how do you not love that? So it's just it's great.
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Yoda's fight against Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, but Yoda's fight against Dooku
People
in Attack of the
screaming
Clones.
when he walked
Yes.
in, it's just like,
Yeah.
wait, what? And then when
Yeah.
it started, it's like, wait, what? That blew
Yeah.
everyone's minds.
The midnight
Yeah, 'cause-
showing of was crazy. Everybody yelled the entire time, and it's Celebration. I didn't know this. I'm not sure if other people did, but at Celebration this year, we learned Ahmed Best was behind the choreography of that fight,
Mhm.
which made me love him even more. But it's just so cool.
Oh yeah.
Plus,
he
it's
got
also a very
his-
quotable movie as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Like the whole banter between Tamora Morrison and Ewan McGregor when they meet for the first time. It's just like, you know, they're disrespecting each other, but in a very politeful, banterish way.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Totally.
So there's it sounds like there's going to be a special edition for Attack of the Clones, and we have a little preview of what they're going to include in it. Do you guys want to see?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So this is a little peek at one of the clips that will be in the special edition of Attack of the Clones right here.
There's my man. There's Watt Tim. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You can walk Tambar at Coachella.
Yes.
Oh, it's gonna live rent free right up here. Just live rent free right up here. Oh, that's amazing.
That'd be a great costume though to see like at a convention where somebody does that and then they have the music. That'd be awesome.
That
would
just
be
replaced
cool.
Mon Mothma dancing at that wedding scene right up here. Yes.
The amount of memes I've seen for Mon Mothma for the past like week and a half have been insane. I had somebody tag me even one where they were playing Puerto Rican music in the background and I could not stop laughing because it was just like the way she was just dancing. It's great.
God, I love that show.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and that was really, really good.
All right, so the toys. Does anyone need? I know we've been going about 2 hours. Does anyone need to take a break, or does anybody need to leave? Like, no judgments at all. I know it's been kind of long. If anyone needs to tap out or take a break, totally understand.
Well,
I'm in
good.
it.
We're good.
So be it, Jedi. All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit of Hasbro's 2005 toy line. You guys know it. I'm here for the toys. I'm really here for the toys at the end of the day. So I'm going to jump over to rebelscum.com, who has our friend Dan Curto, who used to operate all these photo archives back in the day. Awesome job of organizing it and all the different toys that came out of the Revenge of the Sith toy line. And to this day, this is one of my absolute favorite Hasbro toy lines that they've ever done. Because you had the Phantom Menace, which was nothing's can beat how big that was. Like, I don't think anybody that was born after that era can like really fathom how big a movie could be, like in 1999 with that movie. And then the toy and the merchandise, like, it was just huge.
Why the hell did we have a Chancellor Valorum action figure?
Right.
He's been our stronger supporter.
You can just see his only action is being disappointing and disappointing.
Sits down.
Exactly. With sit down action. Oh.
Deflated action.
Poor Valoran. But Attack of the Clones came around. They did their saga line, which wasn't just Attack of the Clones. It was mainly Attack of the Clones, but then it had all the other films like filtered in. And that was a pretty big launch, but nothing compared to Phantom Menace. And then finally you come around to Revenge of the Sith, 2005. The toy line was different from the previous two. It was only Revenge of the Sith, didn't focus on anything else. When you had Phantom Menace, the figures were 1990 style. They weren't as buff as the Big Power of the Force 2. They had kind of slimmed them down by then. They looked pretty nice. Attack of the Clones, that's kind of when they went crazy, like one direction or the other. You had figures that had like big, like dramatic, like with the Jedi robes like flowing and like some of those statue type figures. Then you had some with the most wackiest kind of action features imaginable. If anyone here is curious about Mace on a Stick, Mace on a Stick was a real thing. And then you get to the Revenge of the Sith, and then this is the toy line I feel like they finally figured out during that era what a movie toy line should be. For the most part, the figures look great, and then when they did have action features, they were pretty well integrated into the sculpts, into the figures, into the vehicles. So we're going to take a look at some of the items. It's a very extensive list. We obviously can't get through everything, but we will take a look at some of what they did. Hasbro started off with what they called a sneak preview for Revenge of the Sith. I think these started dropping in February of that year. And you could actually go to the store and buy stuff from the movie early, something that you can't do now at all under any circumstances. But there was one wave of figures for the sneak preview. It was General Grievous. At that time, they hadn't made his cape black yet, so he came with this like light silver looking kind of cape. There was also Tion Medin from Utapau. I'm not sure why they thought this would be the best sneak preview figure, but he did make the cut.
That character always needed a gun. So that's what that character was missing when he met Obi-Wan, a gun.
They are here. We are being watched. Wookiee Warrior. Okay, that makes sense. Like, I don't mind seeing a Wookiee Warrior. And then we also got a droid R4G9. This is the one that Obi-Wan takes to Utapau. So it also has like a little projection of Utapau that plugs into the figure, which is kind of neat. They never did anything after that. This was like the only time they ever did something like this. So yeah, that was a sneak preview wave, and also a vehicle they released early, and that was Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Starfighter, which got an upgraded look compared to what they look like in Attack of the Clones. So yeah, you could get those a few months early back in 2005. Then when the actual line came out, I believe it was, if I remember correctly, it was April 23rd, 2005. And I had done Midnight Madness. I wasn't quite old enough to do it for Phantom Menace, and we also didn't have a Toys R Us in my hometown. But Attack of the Clones, me and my siblings made our dad. We dragged him basically to Walmart for Midnight Madness for Attack of the Clones. So did that. Got a couple figures. It was Dexter Jetster that I got, and Anakin Skywalker, and then Revenge of the Sith. I was on my own for the first time ever. I was able to take myself to Midnight Madness. I had an aunt that actually was in town. And she went with me to the first store. I went to 2 Walmarts that night, and was able to find some of the goodies. But this toy line, I can't stress this enough. The price on these figures, they started off at $5.99, but then after 2 weeks, they went down to $4.99. They were $4.99 for like the rest of the year. And this line was so popular that by the end, they didn't have enough figures to continue it. So they went back, and then they made 2 more waves that they had to hastily repaint and get put into the line so they could have stuff out for the holidays, because the line was so popular. It sold so well, and they needed to go back and do that. It was a really, really, really successful toy line for Hasbro, and there were all kinds of basic figures. Some of them got multiple versions, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously. This was their first one that they did. There was another one later that didn't have the action feature like this one had. It was more sculpt focused. And then they did a third one a little bit later after that. But the figures were really, 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 really successful. And there were some obvious ones like Darth Vader. I mean, they got Darth Vader into the line, which was really nice. And this was before we even saw the movie. We knew Darth Vader would be in it in this outfit, and this was the figure that they released to represent him. The Jedi got figures. Mace Windu. I mean, they really went all out on the Jedi. They did so many of them early on. We got Kit Fisto. And even senators were a pretty big part of the line. Believe it or not. Not only do we get characters like Chancellor Palpatine, but they also did things like Mon Mothma, who was in a deleted scene but didn't make it into the film. They also did the they did the one and only ever pregnant Star Wars action figure. And probably will never see that figure remade, but they did it in 2005.
I need Black Series to do that. I really need Black Series.
We need Hot Toys to do that.
A pregnant Padme.
Pregnant Padme.
Pregnant Padme. We had Masameta with his tongue that you could remove.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was just a range, like Polis Masson, like from the end of the movie, like who you barely even see. They did several clones. Like, you know, I'm here for the clones. Like that was awesome to see so many clones. Several versions of Grievous. And again, by the end, they had to kind of come up with stuff to just throw into the line because they needed merchandise. So they did like holographic figures, like Plo Koon hologram. There was a hologram Aayla Secura as well. And then they repainted this Wookiee warrior like 5 times so that they could get more of them into the line and get people to buy more Wookiees, which is great. I was totally cool with it. And again, just various senators like Mina Till's, like just.
I like that he has a gun.
Yeah.
They all have weapons.
They have to have a weapon.
All the senators were packing heat. All of them.
What is it? They're like,
Aggressive
you get a weapon,
conditions.
you get a weapon. We all get weapons.
Ask that. I think they
Jar Jar
did.
had one. Misa gonna
Yeah,
pop
they didn't do a
glass.
Jar Jar for this line, but they did. Let's see, which other ones do we have here? I mean, they even did. They did a Tarkin, yeah.
Yeah, I see him down. I see him down below.
Yeah, they did do Governor Tarkin.
Yep, he's got a gun.
He's got a gun. I mean, I guess for him it makes a little more sense. Quite a popular one was this was Chewbacca. I remember Chewbacca was initially kind of tough to find, but what people loved is that he was marked as having Wookiee rage. That was his feature, Wookiee rage.
He's like, let me out the package.
Yeah, so good. There were even variants. We had this Palpatine here, right? It's kind of like the Hot Toys one. He has the regular Palpatine head, but then he also comes with the Darth Sidious head as well, and the Darth Sidious hands. And there were a couple of variants. Like initially, he came with the blue lightsaber, like this, because I guess originally the way they was filmed, like he was going to use Anakin's lightsaber. Anakin was there the whole time, I guess, and then they did a running change to where he had the red lightsaber, but it was still Anakin's hilt. It was never the Sidious hilt with that figure. So yeah, just tons and tons and tons of figures. They did deluxe figures, which you could buy. Like some of them were really cool. Like this Darth Vader, you could build him on the operating table. It's probably the kind of thing you might not see in the toy aisles today, but again, 2005 was kind of a different era.
So, Victoria, I was going to tell you, my local comic book shop, well, the one that's near my mom's house, they have this whole entire line displayed out for people to buy. The next time I go, I'm going to film and show you all the characters that they have. It's a lot.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Target had some exclusives. They had these this was lava reflection Darth Vader, not too dissimilar from the lightsaber dual reflection Darth Vader that Hot Toys is doing now, but this was lava reflection. And this was limited to 50,000, which was a ridiculously high number. It doesn't even seem like it should be limited edition, but people got there really early. I remember getting there at opening at Target and like wanting to get my Lava Vader. And believe it or not, he was so popular, even though it was a Power of the Force sculpt, he was so popular that they went back and they also did Lightning Reflection Anakin, which comes with like some like flames. And they also did Lava Reflection Obi-Wan. And they kept the ball rolling. They also did exclusive clone trooper from Target. This guy right here, who's not even in the film. They also did Utapau Shadow Trooper. All of these are Target exclusives. until you get to like some of the hologram ones, which I think this one was Toys R Us, this holographic Sidious right here. But several exclusives, even cups. Target had this line of cups that you could get. Like you could buy General Grievous with a cup. And there were several figures that came with the cups. And I think they were only $10. Yeah, $9.99. That's what they retailed for, which is not bad. There were battle packs. Like these battle packs were really, really popular because basically it was like you could get a whole little thing of figures in one go in like a $20 box. And they were pretty decent figures. Some of them you couldn't even get like in the main line because you had to buy them from these sets. There was this one with Asajj Ventress. It was a Clone Wars focused battle pack. And that was the only way to get that Ventress and this Anakin and that Obi-Wan with the clone armor. And this was a really cool one. This one was a Kmart exclusive. If you guys remember Kmart, it was the Clone Attack on Coruscant, which was a nice set as well. But I mean, the list is so long. There were Evolutions. Evolutions was a really neat concept as well. You could get like a 3-pack that has like 2 versions of Anakin and Darth Vader. Those were only $20. There were play sets, not the greatest play sets, but you could get something like this. This was like probably like the big play set for Revenge of the Sith. It's the volcano, which was later repurposed for Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which they made it look like the mountain from that movie. There were some creatures like the Boga. I guess the Boga was the only creature, but that was a fun one. And they did, of course, something called the Battle Arenas, which weren't very popular, as I recall. You would just buy the figure with a lightsaber that you would twirl and it would duel with another figure. And then the vehicles, always a staple of the Star Wars line, like vehicles in all shapes and sizes, like the droid TIE Fighter was, from the beginning of the film. Really big ones like the Republic gunship, which, this Republic gunship, when Toys R Us released it last as an exclusive in 2013, it was $120, I believe. Back then in 2005, it was only $30.
Oh.
And it's a huge vehicle. It is a really, really, you can fit a ton of figures in it. It's a really big, and it still remains like one of the most beloved vehicles. And they did repaint it multiple times. Like at that point, this was the 3rd repaint. I don't know why it was greenish yellow, but it was. They wanted to differentiate it. And then of course they had 12-inch figures. And some of them were actually pretty decent. Like they did some of the Jedi, like Barasafi was quite nice. And then they also did like the Jedi, I remember, like stood out as being particularly nice. Like Shock T's quite nice still.
Yeah.
And then they did there was a big Darth Vader, of course, because Darth Vader 2005 was the year of like Anakin Darth Vader. I know he kind of looks like a kid in a Halloween costume, but
yeah,
you had the option. So yeah, it was just a really, really, really big toy line with all kinds of stuff, something for everybody. A line that was very, very immensely popular and did really, really well for Hasbro. So I'm curious what y'all's memories are of the 2005 Revenge of the Sith toy line. X.
What was my favorite?
Yeah, and what are your memories of the toy line?
I don't remember the toy line, to be absolutely honest. I wasn't collecting at that time. I know, it's so sad. I didn't get back into collecting toys. I collected Phantom Menace, and then I remember showing up at midnight to grab Phantom Menace figures at Kmart. Mm-hmm. And then I remember not getting anything for Attack of the Clones for some reason. I think I was in undergrad already. So I didn't, for whatever reason, I just wasn't buying toys. And I moved to Boston in 2005, so I wasn't collecting toys then either. I didn't get back into collecting toys until probably the 40th anniversary of A New Hope, when the Black Series was doing their thing, and I was just like, holy smokes. But I do remember some of the figures, and my favorite is the crispy Anakin that the legs come off, which is kind of disturbing. Just a little disturbing. Like, why did you make that into an action figure?
Yeah, let's
I
pull that up.
actually had that. That was the one I was going to talk about being my favorite.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm just messing with you. No,
My favorite
it was a
is,
very disturbing one.
the senator with the gun.
This figure literally looks like somebody took a lighter, like, you know, the little kids would light up and like burn their action figures. That's what it looks like.
People do that?
Some little kids do.
Yeah, remember the kid in Toy Story, Sid?
Yeah, Sid would do that.
Yeah, Sid would do
But yeah, this is definitely a notable figure. It was almost like two figures in one in a way, because I mean, for one, it's $6 or $5, and you know, I mean, it looks like that. It looks like you're getting two figures, but I mean, you really could set it up as two figures, because like you could put Anakin's full body underneath that, or like in this picture how it demonstrates, you could just like stand up like the robe, and it makes it look like a complete figure. Or you could do him like this on his knees, on his left of his legs. And then, yeah, I mean, he looks like he's been through hell, honestly. Get a close up.
I had such a bad joke to say. I'm going to keep it to myself.
You'll have to tell us after.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys after.
Yeah. That's how it came. It came like that with the robe over it.
I like how toys back in the day were just pure nightmare fuel. Just absolute nightmare fuel.
Yeah. What was cool though is you could put it on the operating table that came with the other figure, and then like do this. I mean, that's the best way to do it, I think. Maybe. Yeah. Any other favorites, Nilda, from this toy line?
That one, I did have the Barris Offie one. And then I think, from what I remember, I think I had a Plo Koon one and a Shak T. But then after that, like I, you know, kind of like what I said, I kind of stopped collecting for a little bit, and then started collecting a lot of like the Phantom Menace toys and some of the play sets that they had. And then after that, you know, Funko took over, and then my whole house was filled with Funkos, and then I got rid of those immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
I just love the accuracy of this figure.
Yeah, they were really nice. I mean, like they did a few that had action features, like the Obi-Wan I showed earlier, but then they quickly turned around and did others. Like by the end of the line, you also had this Obi-Wan right here, which to this day remains like one of the best Obi-Wan figures. Yeah, like the plastic like robe, but he also had the headset, so you put him in the Jedi Starfighter. But he was a really nice figure, and you know they haven't done a definitive like vintage collection Obi-Wan from this movie, so I mean, for all intents and purposes, this one still holds up fairly decently. What about you, Joe? What do you have any favorites from figures from this line?
So I definitely do. Like I remember when it came out, like I was disappointed in the card back. Like I didn't like the big plastic bubble thing, because I was predominantly a carded collector when pretty much starting when Power of the Force 2 came out and then on. And I didn't like the symmetry and how they looked like on the wall and things like that. But like, I remember I was blown away at like the, just the variety and the volume of them. Like we got, like you were saying, we got so much stuff, and a lot of it was like right out of the gate. We got such a good variety of them. The waves were massive and it was cool. So I did end up like opening a lot of these, and two of my favorites I still have prominently displayed are, I have the Vader, which I'm actually using in my Tanta V display, but I just liked how like his cape flows. You can make him look like he has a soft goods cape that's real lightweight, so you can kind of make it look like it's flowing and he's walking, and he's got kind of like a choke hand. So I think it looks cool like in the hallway doing that. It looks very dynamic. And I also have the General Grievous displayed in the battle scene. I think not the like exploding one or whatever, but the standard General Grievous I thought was like a really cool figure. And I thought that one was ahead of its time. Like, it still looks so good. So those are among two of my favorites. Oh, that's Victoria. But I also like the Wookiee,
She
the
just
Wookiee
kicked
warrior.
herself out.
Yeah. Just me talking about figures. She's like, this.
She executed Order 66 on herself. Oh no.
She was like, and goodbye.
How does this thing work? No, I hit the wrong back button, wrong window.
No, you're good. But I also have the Wookiee warrior displayed in my Navarro Cantina. He's a bouncer. So I like that one a lot too. So I guess I like the Vader, the Grievous, and the Wookiee warrior. Other than the rebuild Vader set was cool too with the operating table.
Yeah, and there were a few Grievuses. So we saw the sneak preview one. There was also this one that had the 4 sabers.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. And then there was also, you mentioned the exploding one, and that was this one that looked a lot like the concept art for Grievous.
Right.
So he had that like full body cape thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you took him apart, like you could actually like expose like his guts, which was fun. Yeah, that was a fun figure. It was definitely a fun one.
Grievous just a fun character.
Yeah.
Totally.
No, he totally is.
Like, I'd be okay with a Grievous movie.
He was great in Clone Wars too.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. For me, I would say this C-3PO is actually like, even though it's so old, Hasbro has to this day not revealed or done like a definitive C-3PO. It's been ages. The last one was in 2010. It was not a great figure back then. I still use this one in various like scenes because it still holds up pretty well. It's a nice sculpt, not the most articulated, but it's got the vac metal. It still works. It still works. So I still utilize it for some of my scene shelves and setups. I also love the barbecue Anakin. Like that's a fun one. And then for whatever reason, I really like the Kit Fisto that they did for this line. It's just I don't know. It was just a really nice one.
This kind of reminds me of the Kit Fisto from the Micro 2D version.
Yeah. But I can't fail to mention that the Clone Troopers, they released a super articulated Clone Trooper back for this line. It had an antenna for some reason, but you could just pull those out. But it was a really nice figure. And up until the one they did recently within the last year or two, like this was still like, I felt like the definitive Clone Trooper. So it still held up. It still holds up really well. So, that's definitely one that was very, very, very stellar. And I got to mention, because Joe, you mentioned how the packaging was a little awkward, how they were like curved and they had like the concave and they had the tape on the back. Hasbro did release at the time, it's the only time they've ever done it, they sold clamshell cases that you could buy in order to protect the figures. They haven't done it since then. They've released certain figures that have clamshells, but they've never sold them again by themselves. So kind of neat that they were doing it all the way back then, because now you have different figures like case companies like Starcase and Figure Shield and stuff like that.
Right.
Does anyone have a favorite vehicle from this toy line or any other item?
Well, the gunship was sweet for sure.
The gunship is nice.
And also, like, they had that like Clone Trooper like 3-pack, where one of them's kneeling, one of them's like in a prone position on the ground, and then one was just like a normal like standing one. But I still have those displayed too, actually. But that was, those.
Yeah,
right
these guys.
Those are really cool. Just cool for setting up scenes.
Yeah, those were really fun. They introduced those in 2003 for the Clone Wars Micro Series line, and then they did really well. So they continued to use them in for Revenge of the Sith, which is really cool. Yeah, these are some of the deluxe kind of offerings you could get from Build Your Army.
And I love how they put the one face in the other way. Like, why would they do that? Like,
yeah, it's fun stuff. I really liked this one. This one was really nice. The spider droid.
Oh,
I
nice.
still use it. It was a wind up one. You would wind it up and then it would walk.
Oh wow.
They did a couple versions of the droid, Vulture droid. There were the small versions, but there was like the blue one that looks like Revenge of the Sith style, and then you also had the Phantom Menace looking one. Both came with buzz droids. But one that I really, as far as vehicles go, one that I absolutely, probably my favorite vehicle in this line, I would say it had to be the ARC 170 Starfighter.
Nice.
Because it was brand new for this toy line. It had never existed before, and it was only $30, and it was a really big thing that fit 3 different figures. It had a little thing on the bottom where you could drop the bombs. It had like shooting missiles, and then they did go to repaint this one multiple times over the years, but this was the original release, and only $30. And yeah, I really, one of my favorite pieces from that line for sure. Yeah, so I mean, I love that toy line. I think to this day it's a really fun line. It holds up. If you just wanted to have a Revenge of the Sith collection, like there's plenty in that line that's still really good today. Now I did ask on Instagram what people's favorite Revenge of the Sith items were. So I'm just going to read through a few of them. Imperial Cargo Base says Mustafar burned Anakin. Sounds like we all kind of, it is a notable one. GT Frank Official says Paso Argente, which one of the separatists. John Miko, our friend who was on last week, says Crispy Anakin. He also says Ki-Adi Mundi. I guess that is the last like really good Ki-Adi Mundi we got. Our friend Greg says General Grievous with 4 lightsaber attack. Diego Collect says Red Leader Obi-Wan. For me, at that time, the articulation on that thing was revolutionary, and that's the one we showed with the robe. Robo Friend 2000 says Tion Medin, Mustafar Sentry, Polis Masson, Nemodian Guard. Love that they exist, which is true. They would never make those today. Let's see. Django's Bounty says the Obi-Wan Kenobi with the hard plastic cloak. Same one we've mentioned. Brad says Injured Anakin, standard in the build Darth Vader Deluxe. My name is Jeff says Lava Reflection Obi-Wan and Anakin Target exclusives. Jedi Day says Shock T and Ki-Adi Mundi. Adam says so many, but the Clone Trooper is a standout because of articulation against action features. Mile High Ground says Obi-Wan Kenobi with the pilot gear. Same one. Milky Way Skywalker says Battle Damage Sith Anakin or Darth Vader's medical droid. That was a neat one too. Dave's Domain says kind of cheating, but Anakin with the red Skywalker saber and Padme. Cool. We see a vote for pregnant Padme. And then Tana Toyart says Polis Masson or the first release of R2 and 3PO.
Nice.
So good stuff. I love that toy line. We do have a full retrospective on the Revenge of the toy line on the Cantina Chatter podcast from several years back now. That is out there, kind of going through the whole lineup. So that is available anywhere you get your podcasts. But yeah, I mean, I think that brings us to the final segment of the evening. So we're going to move into new acquisitions, things that we've added to our collections since we were last on. So we'll go ahead and talk about brand new acquisitions.
Good. New acquisitions.
All right. So my friends here in the audience, in the chat, let us know what you've added to your collections and we will read through them. But my friends here, I always let the guests go first. So if anyone has any show and tell that you'd like to tell us about or show us, you are all welcome to show us your latest acquisitions. Anyone want to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Yay.
Hold on. Let me remove my background. So I do apologize. My actual toy, because I'm gonna be moving very soon into my new home. So my toy room right now is at my mother's house. And that's the background that you guys see. So I will be building my new toy room once we buy a new house. So I'm removing it so I can show you guys what I picked up. So
Yeah.
I guess so far I picked up this book, which was the Women of the Galaxy. They did update it and expand it, so they added a lot of characters on here. And I don't know if I sent this to you, Victoria. They had the sisters on here. Let me see if I can find it. I took a picture of it the other day. I did. Okay, yeah. So they added a whole bunch of, different characters on here. They added Phasma, Mon Mothma's on here. Andor's mom is on here. So it's on sale right now for, I believe, $27 on Amazon. I recommend it. It's like really thick and extensive book. So I was very happy picking this up.
Nice.
And then today the Lego set came in.
Nice.
Ah.
So I'm probably going to build this on May the 4th after I go and pick up my 501st Clone Trooper from GameStop, because my GameStop has had that in their store for over 3.5 weeks. Called me to let me know that it's in their store, but decided to tell me, oh yeah, by the way, you cannot pick that up until May the 4th. So it was like, we're just going to tease you. We're going to let you know it's less than, 1,000 feet away. You just can't own it right now.
Nice.
And then
Oh, yes.
I got this from Celebration. This is absolutely beautiful. So if you do not have one, I highly recommend it. I guess like during my live stream on Wednesday, we ended up finding out that there is 2 different versions of this. There is the American style one, and then the exclusive one that you got in Japan. The one in Japan, the red ribbon that goes around it has Japanese lettering on it. And then the inside of here, let me see my camera. Oh no, this side. All this side right here is all in Japanese, where if you had bought this on Amazon, it's all in English. So there's like different variations of it. And then the last thing, you guys were talking earlier about like having a boss for like Hot Toys. One of my friends likes to like sculpt and make different figures. So he knew like I have a bounty hunter section in my collection. So he ended up making this for me.
Nice.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I forgot what's the name of the company, like Diamond Select likes to make these like mini bus. He made one for me because I kept saying, and he made these exclusive. He only made like 5 of them, and he made the base with the clothing, and then like this is the bottom of it.
That's wild.
That's incredible.
Right? And the details are sick. Yeah, his name is Joel Halsey. He's made a couple things for me. Like when The Mandalorian came out, I loved Moff Gideon's character. And that scene where like Moff Gideon's TIE fighter crashes and he like comes out of the TIE fighter. I had him build me that diorama. So I have like an actual TIE fighter crashed. And then I took my Moff Gideon hot toy and placed it on top of it. Nice. So, yep, those were my acquisitions for this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
I can
Thank you.
Can't follow that up. Yeah, no. I want to go after you now.
Yeah, super.
Sorry. And it sucks because I have more stuff coming in. So it's like, I have like 2 other things, but I was just like, I'm not going to show like a whole bunch of stuff. Like everything decided to come and like hit me all at once. And then
That's
like I could, that's how it is. And like in 2 weeks, I'm going to be going to this, it's like a con in Tennessee. It's called ICC, the Imperial Commentary Convention. And for years, they've been bringing in like different Star Wars actors. And I've been trying to like get more into like signature collecting. So my plaques came in today.
Here, let's get it.
Yeah. So I'm going to meet like Rena Owen. Let me see if I can move my light thing. That's what's causing the block. There we go. So I got this plaque. Andy Succombi is going to be there. So I'm going to get my Watto plaque signed.
Nice.
Wow.
And then Lewis McLeod is going to be there as well. So I'm getting this signed from him too.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a lot of cool, like different items. And then yeah, that's it. Those were my acquisitions.
Where do you get those plaques?
There's a company and if you want, I can send it to you on Instagram. It's this really nice guy named Ariel Martinez. Him and his wife have a company called, I think it's on Instagram. If you follow them, hold on, I'll tell you right now. It is called AM Custom Plaques. So it's one word on Instagram. So it's AM Custom Plaques. He will make you any plaque for any character that you want. And then he'll give you, like, if you tell him, like earlier today, I messaged him on Facebook and I was just like, hey, so I heard that, Denise Goff is going to be at a convention in, I think it's like South Dakota. I was like, can you have any plaques for her character from Andor? So he ended up sending me these two. Sorry, my light is terrible. Hold on. So I'm going to pick up this one from him. Let me see if I can make it better.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and one of my buddies is going to that con. She's actually doing like a signature signing for a convention that's going on in South Dakota for children with cancer. And it's basically like a charity event, and her signature is only going for $86.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to pick that up.
Nice.
So, yep, that's it. That's my
Cool.
acquisitions. I'm sorry.
Good acquisitions. Those are great. Next.
I've only got two. One you can't see because it's pre-order. So I guess it's not really an acquisition because it hasn't arrived yet. But we're talking about pre-acquisitions, new pre-acquisitions, unlimited pre-orders. So of course we're talking about Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, and as many of you know, when you went to the theater, it had that that really awesome poster that was done by Matt Ferguson. Well, now you can own that print. Bottleneck Gallery has them up for sale for pre-order. You can pre-order them up until Sunday, this Sunday. So if you want, and they have English versions, and then they have what I pre-ordered, which is the Japanese version of the print. So if you really like the print that he did for the poster for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, you can bring it home. I already have his Empire Strikes Back and his Return of the Jedi also in the Japanese versions, and I can't wait to get them all. My 1/6 scale Dewback and Sand Trooper Sergeant are on the way from Sideshow, finally. So got to find a place for those. But my friend who went to Star Wars Celebration sat in line for 4 hours and brought me this.
Oh,
Whoa.
my God. Amazing.
No way.
So special shout out to Kendra for standing in line for 4 hours to get me Darth Vader Sith Apprentice. Apparently there were 1,500 at Celebration that were available, and she was able to grab this guy for me.
That's incredible.
Oh,
People were actually allowed to pick up 2 of those,
which is insane.
Because I would think if it was an exclusive, you were only allowed to pick one. But one of my buddies picked up 2, one for himself and one for somebody else too. And that one, like the floral stormtrooper, sold out day one. It was all gone by day one.
Well, yeah, more than one person. It's the weirdest thing to say, hey, we're going to have 1,500, but you can buy more than one. And then after that, we're going to have 1,000. Good luck. But the fact that you come away with 2 or 3 of these is kind of, it's weird. It's really weird. I've never heard of anyone doing exclusives. I'm not a big fan of exclusives. I don't really believe in going through the Hunger Games to get figures. I believe in people getting a fair shot, but For I'm sure this won't be the last artist in Anakin that they do. I'm fully expecting, Hot Toys to milk it for all it's worth and give us sculpted versions. I really hope that that's what they do, because that was a glaring hole in my collection of having an Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Because he's a very, very important figure, or a very important character. And I had the opportunity to meet Hayden once, and he's extraordinarily extraordinarily nice guy. So I was thrilled to get that figure into the collection. And aside from that, I got some fusion reactors to light up some of my droids. So rather than use those weird button cell batteries that Hot Toys wants you to use, fusion reactors, which hook up to USB. So now I can control. So now my droids don't look dead, Now they all light up the way they're supposed to. And so fusion reactors, I can't wait to light up everything that needs to be lit up with fusion reactors, because they're really affordable, and the guy who runs it is really nice. So that's it for me.
Yeah, that'll be awesome to see when that's done. But no, I mean, I was wondering, like, I saw the Anakin behind you with the red saber, and I was wondering, but like, now that you've confirmed it, like, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, he is. It's insanely good. It's insanely good what they were able to do with it, and it's also insane that they would make something like that super limited. So here's hoping that it's a wide release that everyone can get their hands on, because it is a really solid figure.
Yeah, no, huge congratulations on that, and that's a really good friend that you have.
Oh, she's amazing. She's absolutely incredible. She's part of the 501st here. And her Star Wars knowledge is very intimidating. But she's a wonderful person.
Nice. That's really cool. I see the prices on eBay for that, like $1,400, $1,500. I'm like, I really want it, but I can't pay that much for. I can't.
Yeah. No, just give it a little while, and there'll be one at retail that everyone will be able to grab without.
Yeah, let's see what happens this weekend. Let's see if anything happens for May the 4th. That's kind of, I'm waiting on that. Let's see what happens there. Joe, what do you got that brand new that you want to show us?
So this week I basically got three things. I'm gonna have to take everybody for a ride because they're up. And shameless plug, I'm actually gonna be shooting a full room tour video for May the 4th coming out Sunday. So I hope everybody can check that out. But with that, everything's already kind of displayed. But I'm trying to get everything focused as well as I can. But I got the new Imperial Praetorian Guard in Black Series.
Oh wow!
Back there in the back. So that's my new Black Series figure. And then for TVC, I got Lieutenant Callahan down there. Let me see. There we go. So she came in, looks awesome. And then last but not least, I added 11x17 Acolyte poster to my collection. So
nice.
Yeah, so those are kind of the three newest things I got, and everything's kind of popped in there. And rocking the Dooku shirt. I guess I'll highlight that for some reason. But yeah, so that's what I got going on. Those are my three new things.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
You have a room tour coming up?
I do, yeah. So I haven't done one since 2023. So they shooting it tomorrow morning, and it'll be dropping on May the 4th. And so it'll be like a big. It's gonna be a longer video, so it's gonna be like a full rundown of the whole room, giving a lot of descriptions, everything, and it's gonna be fun. So I'm excited for it. So I'll put the finishing touches on the room because, of course, I messed with a little bit this week. And then you're sitting here like, why did you do this now, knowing you're going to shoot this video? But we're all back in shape. We're in order, so we're ready.
So, yeah, nice.
Yeah. This whole time I've been like eyeing your background, like, ooh, that's nice, and that's nice, and that's nice.
It's fun.
Like,
it's a nice little haven down here, but it's funny because I'll show you guys one other thing. But this has been here forever. But we actually have a bar we made down here, and we actually have let me try to get it the right direction. But we have a bar menu that's got like Star Wars cocktails in the like pricing structure and all that, and it's in credits. So it's something fun. And I had one night where I had told this story to somebody earlier, but I had one night randomly a couple years ago. We were getting all this set up where I basically was going over like the prices in my head back and forth, and I changed like 2 or 3 of them because they didn't make sense to me. And you just have this moment where you're just like, what have you become? You're sitting here in your basement contemplating the prices if they're fair for your fake Star Wars drinks and your fake Star Wars bar. It's just like, but yeah, I just felt like an hour just sitting there like pondering, like, well, that shouldn't be this, blah blah blah. So the prices are competitive. We're holding it down, but haven't been hit by inflation or anything. But yeah, it's a good time down here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. We'll be looking forward to that video.
Yeah, thanks.
One thing I did want to point out, and I forgot somebody in. I just saw this comment in the chat, so I'm going to pull this up just really quick because I forgot to mention it earlier. But there is something coming on May the 4th, an exclusive through Disney Store that's going to be online. We don't know price yet, but that is the Star Speeder 1000. Anyone that remembers the whole saga last year, the Star Speeder 3000, the one that I have behind me, it was a ridiculously hard thing to obtain, and I had to eventually. I got an assist from the community, thankfully. Still grateful for that, but yeah, it's now they're doing the repaint of the Star Speeder 1000, which is the current iteration of Star Tours in most of the Disney parks. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very popular. It's just like the original one. It lights up. It's got some figures. It's got a 3PO and R2, and it's got a video screen, LCD video screen. So I'm eager to see the price. I definitely want to try and I do want both versions because I'm a sucker for Star Tours. But yeah, May the 4th at 8 a.m. PT Pacific time. So I will be trying for it. And if anyone else gets it, definitely let me know because I'd be curious to see how many of us can snag it. All right. So I guess I'm up. I guess it's my turn. Before I do that, you mentioned something a little while ago, Nilda, about the Cantina. So during the live stream today, they mentioned that the original Cantina Creature Cantina set had a kid on the box, right? That's a lot of thing they used to do with Kenner. A lot of time is put kids on the box, like playing with the toys and like all, interested in the toys, like they would do in the commercials. But they said in the live stream today that they did not do that for the new one. They said that they ditched the kid. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I guess we don't need a kid, but there's, the target audience like today for this stuff. I mean, could we have not have gotten like this?
I saw this on Instagram and like the first thing I did was I was like, oh my God, Victoria's on the Cantina set. And I kept staring at it. I was like, wait a second. Because I know that like a couple people for Hasbro. So I was like, maybe they, like they finally, listened to her and they put her on a box.
If only.
This was so cool.
I'm willing to be on a box if they'll have me. But anyhow,
even
let's
if
go over
my
my
hand,
acquisitions.
I would like to my hand to be in the box.
Oh, I know, right? Even that would be acceptable. So I also got the Black Series. I haven't even taken out of the packaging, but the Ronin exclusive. It's still in the wrapper. I'm probably gonna leave it in the wrapper for now, but it is here. Got it from Hasbro Pulse. It is available again on Amazon though. Pre-order. Black Series. I got some Black Series stuff. So Seeking Our Revenge of the Sith. Got the new R2D2.
Nice.
And of course, it's got the throwback packaging, and it has the rocket boosters, which the previous version did not have. So, got R2D2. I also love my clones. Maybe not as much as my Cantina aliens, but I do love my clones. I got 2 Tactical Ops Troopers, aka 501st Troopers.
Nice.
So they are here. I skipped Dooku and I skipped Kit Fisto because those are just pretty straight repacks. And then I also got some TVC. I will share the image of these because I don't have them. They're already integrated onto the shelf displays. I did get Shin Hati and Valen Skull from the Vintage Collection. And they are both fantastic figures. Fantastic figures. They look great. I haven't shown any pictures yet, but they look great in the Ahsoka setup I have going on the shelf. But very happy with how those turned out. And then because I knew we were, I've had Revenge of the Sith on my mind. I've been thinking about it and trying to fill holes in the collection. And some people think I have everything, and I have a lot of things. I don't have everything, especially when it comes to vehicles. There's a lot of things that I never picked up because they did like 10 repaints of the same vehicle, for example. And they did that several times. So I did get some vehicles. I did get some figures. So I'm going to go in and share what I have. I got all 4 of these for $30 on eBay. So I got 4 2005 Revenge of the Sith deluxe figures. So I will show the first one here is General Grievous. So this is one of the 4 armed versions. I did not have this back in the day. I have it now. There were just so many Grievouses, and it was like, it just seemed like one I could have skipped. Speaking of the clones, Joe, you were talking about these earlier.
Yeah.
Got a 3-pack with one of the red armored, or like
Nice.
the other 2 are just plain white troopers. It also came with a Vulture droid, and this is just a regular episode 1 kind of style one, because I already had the episode 3 blue one. Did not have this one, so I have this now. And then the last thing that was in this set is something I did buy back in the day. Somehow or another, I lost track of it. But that is from the deleted scene. It's Yoda on Cancel.
Nice.
From some deleted scene where Yoda was on a giant dragonfly.
Fly into battle.
Flying into battle in Kashyyyk. So, yeah, I couldn't believe all 4 of those were just $30, but they were. So got those. Turning to vehicles. Believe it or not, I did not own these vehicles up until recently, just because there were so many repaints of them. But finally adding to the collection, Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Starfighter.
Nice.
This is the 30th anniversary collection version, but it's the same vehicle from 2005. Just they reissued it a few times over. Finally have this in the collection. Should have picked it up when it was a sneak preview, but I neglected to do that. I didn't stop there because I knew I had to get the other one too. So here's Obi-Wan's.
Nice.
And I did have the Darth Vader Sith Starfighter, the black one of these, and I had Mace Windu's purple one, and I had Aayla Secura's blue one, but I didn't have these 2, which I should have started with these 2, and I didn't. And then got General Grievous's wheel bike, because I also did not have this one.
Love that box.
Yeah, that classic 2005 lava box. Super nice. Super, super nice. And then I think I have one more thing. And arguably save the best for last. This one just came in today. But so the vintage collection, I'm obviously very big on, but I don't have everything from TVC 1.0 carded. There are some things that I was missing. My dog's knocking down my things. There are some things that I was missing. And this is one of them. So this is VC17. On the variant foil card, we got General Grievous.
Nice.
Nice.
And they did send him in a protective clamshell figure shield case, which was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
That
But yes, it's got the foil card, so you can kind of see when it hits the light. It's got that reflective look on the racetrack. Back of it. So finally filled a hole in the collection that was a long time coming. So finally got my Grievous.
Victoria, you got a haul.
Yeah.
Like, I'll let Nilda go first because I know she's got a lot of stuff. But like,
yeah, I like my toys. That's what it is.
we need a room tour.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever do another room tour because the last one, the video is 90 minutes long. I don't know if I'll ever do another one. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Make the sacrifice.
I think every live stream you do, I'm just gonna secretly keep commenting. I'll ask other people to comment to new updated room tour.
Nice. Let's see here.
She'll cave in one day, guys.
Maybe.
What is it? My master manipulation.
So we'll turn to the audience. Britt says she got the Black Series Ronin exclusive as well. Black Series Anakin and Black Series Shakti. Very nice. Allison says, congrats on the new home to you, Nilda. Mary says, another slow week. TVC Balin Skull and Shin Hot Tea. Charlie says, no acquisitions this week. Scott9 got both Balin and Shin as well. Allison says, while picking up some roofcock, I caved and picked up Balin, Shin, and Deidre. Nice. PGB1 says that he broke. Oh no, I broke and bought Sheezer and Black Series. Broken bought and got Balin and Shin TVC. Got Savaja Press Black Series on the way.
I'm
Dodge
so happy
Sin.
they did that with Shadows of the Empire. I was so glad because I remember when that was a thing when it first came out. I'm like, it's everything but the movie, which is fine, but still, the figures, the games, the comic books, everything, the soundtrack.
Yeah, it was something.
It was something.
Dodgson says, Kenner the Lost World Pachycephalosaurus. Green, the Lost World Raptor with green eyes. Okay, that's a good variant to have. The green-eyed variant was rare. Jurassic Park Dinosaurs, 1999, reddish brown Junior Baby Rex. Chaos Effect Tyrannops, Chaos Effect Armagospinus, and Chaos Effect Alpha Raptor, all for $40. Worth it. Damn, $40 for all that. That's really good. Really, really good. You get really good deals, Dawson. Let's see here. Scott9 says, I have Yoda in my shopping cart right now, actually. Cool. I don't know which Yoda that is, but Dawson's offering.
I bet they're like, I've been waiting a long time for this moment, my little green friend.
Dawson's offering last minute drinks from the soda fountain if anybody needs anything.
Dr. Pepper, please.
I've had this one. I've been like kind of drinking this one off and on. It's orange cream Coca-Cola. It's interesting.
That is a combination. Okay. Does it work?
It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Hey.
Let's see here.
I unfortunately had coffee and it didn't do nothing for me. It's made me more tired than anything.
Scott9 says, I got battle damage Grievous with the flame eyes. Cool. Yeah, I think those are all the acquisitions. So thank you to everybody who shared your new acquisitions. We appreciated hearing it. And you guys, we've been going almost 3 hours. Crazy, but time flies when you're having fun. It's been a blast. And I'm really thankful that the three of you were able to make it and to hang out with me for all this time. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before we depart, I just want to let everybody know where they can find you guys on the socials, on the interwebs. Press X, where can people go to look you up online?
I'm on the gram, as the kids call it, the Instagram at Press X to continue. I should really know this. If you search for Press X to continue, you'll find me on Instagram. Usually posting photos of my record collection, occasionally of my figure collection, occasionally of my print collection. Just posting rando stuff over there. Otherwise, you can find me over on the YouTubes, Say What on Wednesdays, and Best of the Best on Thursdays, Uncivilized Scoundrels on Thursdays, and then Collectors Lounge International on Sundays. So I'm out there in the ether, you know. I'm out there in the force, one with the force. But,
nice. So what you're saying is all people need to do is press X to find you online.
Indeed, just keep pressing it until you find me.
Yes, I bet you have.
McConkey.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, I pressed X.
There you go.
Joe, where can everybody go to look you up on the socials and on the interwebs?
So you can find me on Instagram and YouTube, and Return to the Jodi. And yeah, so YouTube, I kind of just shoot casual videos of the collection and just getting away from the real world, just slowing down, enjoying this kind of stuff. So it's good. And Instagram, I'm on there too, showing pictures of Star Wars stuff, and also sharing pictures of my wife and I hanging out because she's the most important thing that has ever happened to me. So she's kind of celebrating stuff I love, again, getting away from the real world. So it's nice. So look me up.
Very cool. Very cool. And then Nilda, where can everybody go to look you up online?
I'm mostly on Instagram as Nilda_Nilda_ listens. I vaguely fell in love with the little fat kid who was yelling at his mom, Linda. So I use that since that's my name as my handle. On Instagram, I'm just mostly doing like toy hunts, cosplaying, going to different conventions. Within the past year, I've been doing a lot of Star Wars celebrity interviews. Within like the next couple upcoming months, I have like 7 different actors that I'm slowly lining up onto my schedule. And then on YouTube, you can find me as under for Appetite for Collectibles. I do toy reviews as well, unboxings. Right now we've been doing like a live stream in regards to reviewing Andor. And then I've just been traveling to different states to basically get the largest autograph signature collection in Star Wars. So I hope one day to be in the Guinness Books of World Records for that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So far, we're at number 85 in signatures.
Nice.
Jeez.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Good luck with that. And my friends here in the audience in the chat, if you're watching the replay, definitely go and look up our guests online. Definitely worth following each and every one of them. And our audience, everyone who's been chatting with us, watching, hanging out, we really, really appreciate you. Thank you for being with us on this Friday night, spending your time reminiscing about Revenge of the Sith, talking about the latest toy news. And as a reminder, we will be back on Wednesday next week, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll have more to discuss at that point, including hopefully more announcements this weekend for new toys that we want to add to our collections. So fingers crossed. My friends here in the panel, hang tight just a moment. But everybody else, no matter where you're tuning in from around the galaxy, be well, be safe. May the Force be with you. Thank you for tuning in. Happy May the 4th. Have a great weekend.
Yes.
And we will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you very much.